This dude showed up to a party in his pajamas, telling a 10 out of 10 beauty that he could literally predict the future. The girl texted her friend about this total weirdo at the party and asked for an immediate rescue. The guy then told her that her ride wasn't coming. See, her ex-boyfriend just got back with her. Tonight, she's about to call and cancel. In exactly 9 minutes and 13 seconds, the girl texted in secret. There was no way he could have known, but she still wrote him off as a complete lunatic. Suddenly, a pack of thugs crashed the party. One of them decided the girl was a prize and wanted to admire her assets up close. She tried to refuse, but when creeps use force, there's usually no way out. Just then, our pajama-clad hero finally spoke. Ignore the girl. Your business is with me. The blonde goon felt his pride get wounded in front of his crew, so he launched a sucker punch, but our guy didn't even move. Damn, his composure was ice cold. He planned to shatter him with one strike. With a silken move, Wu Chen dodged and sent the bully flying several meters away with a single, clean uppercut. The goons were left absolutely speechless. Then, more men arrived. A man in a sharp suit warned, anyone who touches my men is already dead. Wu Chen's response left the enforcer utterly stunned. Didn't your big brother Jiao teach you respect? I suppose I should give him a call. So Wu Chen dialed, and coolly explained the current events, mentioning a war could erupt in China over this. If he wanted the May summit to succeed, he'd better fix this now. Wu Chen revealed, who was on the phone to the big boss. It really was his brother on the line. Every single one of them was forced to bow and beg for forgiveness for their rudeness. Wu Chen didn't lose his calm for a second. And just like that, the girl was hopelessly hooked on him. A moment ago, this guy was saying he's trapped in one day for 1,000 years. You know the drill. At first, it's total paradise. Every single morning you wake up, it's July 7th, 2020. You blow all your cash, rig some bets, and maybe break a few laws. It all just resets. Then her friend called, confirming she'd ditched her to get back with her ex. That's when things finally got interesting. The girl stared at Wu Chen in disbelief. Was this guy for real? Could he really know the future? She was skeptical, but she had a plan. To test his wild story, she ran to the car. Just as Wu Chen was about to leave, she knew that car didn't belong to him. He must have totally stolen it. Wu Chen just smirked. By tomorrow, this won't even be my problem, the girl shot back, saying he shouldn't have a problem taking a beautiful girl along. Wu Chen, he's an absolute savage. He told her any girl caked in that much makeup must be way too ugly for him. She was furious, but she wasn't about to back down. Wiping her face clean, she revealed a stunner. A natural beauty without all that plaster. But Wu Chen just rated her a 9 out of 10. Good enough to get in, he said, and enjoy the double bed. She tried to act casual, but her blush gave her away. She got in. They checked into a hotel the next morning. Wu Chen woke up, expecting the same old reset. But he was in for the shock of his 1,000-year life. The girl was still in his bed. She demanded answers. After all, it was now July 8th. His whole story must have been a complete lie. Wu Chen had given up all hope of ever breaking free. But now, right before his eyes, the loop had shattered. The woman grills him, asking what kind of creep hides in a bathroom. She wants a straight answer, and she wants it now. Hiding in the shower. It hits him. This wasn't a dream. Time had finally started moving again. At last, he feels free from that twisted game of time and space, throwing his arms wide. He roars to the world, I'm finally here! A moment later, a notification window pops up. He grins, wondering if this is his grand awakening. His physical stats are laughably average, but his mental power is off the charts. Staring at it, he starts to grasp the true meaning of his ability to rewind time. On a whim, the system confirms it, explaining that the point cost increases with each reset in a single day. He was once just an ordinary student, but now he has over 1,000 max-level abilities under his belt. Proof of the 1,000 years he endured. Now that time flows normally again, he can finally unleash all these powers. Nearby, the woman watches him, wondering if he's completely lost his mind. She cautiously approaches him and asks if he's okay. Wu declares that this is the best day he's had in 1,000 years. She just begs him to stop talking nonsense. Just then, a loud banging at the door interrupts them, followed by angry threats. Something about a stolen car. The woman nervously edges to the door to look. Through the peephole, from the other side, a man roars, "Open up or I'll kick it down." She fires back, accusing the guy of stealing a car. Meanwhile, Wu Chen just mutters he didn't know today would be a normal day. He then admits he stole Wang's car. The woman panics, warning him he's a big shot in the underworld. Apparently, Wang has a history of crushing anyone who gets in his way. His parents were attacked, which landed him in prison. After his release, he clawed his way up the ladder until He became a powerhouse in East China. With this, she warns that Wu Chen messed with an impossibly powerful figure, and he's now a dead man walking. Still, he calls it a truly minor inconvenience. Problem? Finally, Wan compares this to casually using Liang's sacred name, an act that could easily get many people killed. The woman then asks what he could possibly do, calmly. The answer comes. It's surprisingly simple. Wen decides he'll just start it all over, asking the system to use the time reset. The system then initiates its first reset, turning back to July 8th, 2020. Time rewinds to the exact moment she holds up her phone, demanding answers. Just like that, Wen knows the time loop actually worked. She insists again, demanding that he explain himself this very second. But without missing a beat, Wu Chen cuts her off. There's no time to explain, he says. Just get dressed. Infuriated, she calls him completely irresponsible, claiming he just wants to abandon her. In response, he explains he stole Wang Jiangyuan's cart. She snaps back, saying as just an ordinary girl, she can't get mixed up with a monster like that after this. She asks if he even knows who she is. She continues, saying that if he did, he'd have to beg for her assistance. Wan steps closer and asks, should I beg? The same way you did last night. Burning with rage, she shoves him away, calling him a bastard. I'll just let you die. With a calm tone, he regrets this outcome, but states that he knows someone who can fix this easily. Faced with this, the woman questions what kind of person he means. Finally, Wu Chen replies, a woman with a big heart. Meanwhile, cars pursue a vehicle. At breakneck speed through the city, a gun is aimed, a death threat made. Stop the car or you die. She panics. They're armed, but Wu Chen just grins. This is the fun part. Are you insane? She screams at his speed. He retorts, we get caught, I'm dead. The goons get their orders from the boss. Get that thief and bring back my car. Meanwhile, Li Robing takes a strange call. An unknown number. It's Wu Chen. He informs her a traitor is on her team. You're about to lose your bet, he says. He won't reveal his name, but offers a hint. Some info about her brother. Wu Chen proposes they meet in 30 minutes. She demands to know who he is first. But before he answers, they're trapped. Completely surrounded. The woman screams. We're trapped. He just smirks at her. Just watch this. As he pulls an epic drift, one goon is stunned by the insane move. His boss yells, don't just praise him. Capture him. The chase is back on. They fly down the highway as she screams. She's yelling for help, Wu Chen announces. We're here. Your place. The woman is stunned. She stares, completely speechless for a moment. He perfectly parks the car at her home. She questions him. Wait, how did you know where I live? Then she gives up. She can already guess his crazy answer. Probably. I've lived for 1,000 years. She has to admit his driving is amazing. Seriously, where did you learn that? Wu Chen replies, by dying many times. That's how I mastered the technique. He warns, but don't try to copy me. You only get one life, she just scoffs. Stop lying, and don't expect me to call. After he walks away, she calls him a jerk. That bastard, he played her this whole time. Tricked her all night and expects a call. Then she suspects it was all a setup. A friend must have arranged this whole thing. She decides she will get answers. Li Robing, Donghai City's famous businesswoman. A woman with a dangerous past. Her brother could shatter all of East, China, and Wu Chen knew her well. A deep connection linked them. Inside the president's office, a man announced Wu Chen's brazen arrival. Leroy Bing dismissed her aide, saying, you may leave us now. She scanned Wu Chen's file, reading his history, his family, and his sister, Wu Zhao. He smirked. You found all? That from just my number. As she ripped the report to shreds, she sneered. You look so ordinary, but a simple man wouldn't know. About my secret wager, Li Robing rose. She questioned him. Just who are you? Wu Chen closed the distance, proposing to reveal her traitor for a price. 10 million? She questioned his plan. Making a pact with a total stranger, trusting unproven information. And you think I would agree to that a gun was now aimed at him? Li Robing demanded. Explain or you die. You won't leave this room alive. He admitted she'd shoot, revealing the gun's own cartridge in his hand. He asked, how will you shoot me now? Li Robing checked her weapon. Stunned? The magazine was gone, snatched from right under the table. In that instant, she recalled him subtly moving closer. He'd approached her desk without a sound. Call me a very shrewd businessman. He explained that the trick he just pulled was a sample of his intelligence. He then told her to trust his skills. He assured her that he was simply here for the money, to get near. To her, he needed a simple reason. And cash is the perfect tool to lower someone's well-built defenses. Seated again, she stared, challenging him to reveal what else he knew. He then declared she was the eldest daughter of the formidable Li family who fought to prove her own value but never left. Her brother's massive shadow, Ween added, that she had resisted the marriage. With Ding Rong, all for her mother's sake, and the 3 fake boyfriends, they all met tragic ends thanks to a little scheme by Ding Rong to keep her isolated from other men, to escape. She and Ding Rong made a secret wager, a bet on who could build the bigger company in 5 years, but of course, she had no idea he planted a spy, right by her side, poised to destroy everything on the launch day. Woo. Chen then asked if he should say more. Leroing shot to her feet, demanding to know the name of this traitor. Calmly, Wu simply confirmed that he would tell her. Just then, a man strode into the meeting room. Senior Assistant Fun Yan walked over, asking Lee robbing for a signature. One pointed him out as the traitor and slammed his head onto the table. Then, he grilled him about $5 million in a Swiss account. The man denied it all, without even flinching. Wu pressed him down, asking if he truly intended to keep his mouth shut. Lee robbing saw Fungi Yan's phone light up with a call from Ding Rulong. She confronted him. So this is my price. I never thought I would be sold for only $5 million. The man collapsed, admitting he took the money and said there was something urgent he had to tell her. But Wu Chen warned her not to listen, explaining that Ding Rong knew her mother was her weakness. He then told her to decide the traitor's fate. Lira Bing sent the man away, ordering, "Never let me see your face again." Me again, as he walks out. He thanks her profusely. Wu Chen smirks, commenting he thought she'd kill him. She replies, by nightfall, he'll be at the bottom of a river, wearing cement shoes. Still, Leroy is wary, suspecting he's just a pawn sent by Ding Rilong to win her trust. Wu Chen has to admit, it does look a bit suspicious, but he has the perfect plan to erase all doubt. Intrigued, Li Ruing asks, and what plan is that, his proposal to become her new hired boyfriend? His logic is simple. Ding Rong is obsessed with his reputation, so becoming her boyfriend is the fastest way to prove his loyalty. But Li Ruing reminds him of the fate of her 3 previous fake boyfriends, Doll, utterly destroyed by Ding Rong. He knows, but argues that for ambitious people, a relationship with her would make life thrilling. She concedes that he's certainly special and definitely brave. Aren't you afraid? She asks, with his own weapon pressed to his temple. He answers that fear is pointless. She would only need to make one call if she really wanted him gone, and with that, she admits she genuinely likes him. Li Zhuing suddenly appears, remarking that every new couple needs a romantic photo. The two then snap a quick selfie with his phone. From that moment on, he was her boyfriend and personal aide. Finally, she could ask him about her brother. Wu Chen reveals he manages the infamous East China Sea Crown, one of the nation's biggest entertainment hubs. She scoffs, stating that's common knowledge. But he adds that the club has been under investigation for 3 months. According to his inside information, that entire network of contacts be dismantled within 1 month. Li Ruing demands to know what he means. He hints that this problem doesn't just involve her brother. The entire Li family might have to cut him off completely. Wu Chen just tells her to stop asking questions. That night, the drama begins. Outside the East China Sea Crown Club, one of the underlings starts to spill everything that went down to the boss. Wang Jiangyuan, Lira Tai's right hand, is absolutely furious when he hears some young punk not only injured his men, but also dared to use the boss's name. The left-hand man, Xiao Awazi, thinks it's odd the kid knew of the rally and even had his number. And with that, Lira Tai gives the order. Find him, because he's going to kill him with his own 2 hands. At that moment, Li Robbing herself enters the room. Everyone is completely stunned. She strides toward her brother, demanding they extinguish their cigarettes. She can't stand the smell. Li Robbing announces she is there to introduce someone, pointing at Wu Chen. Wu Chen casually tosses him the keys, saying he only borrowed the car. Wang Jiangyuan instantly knows his face. He shouts, that's the man who used their boss's name. As the eldest grandson, Liu Tai's power is no joke, rivaling even Ding Rilong's. Liu Bing always protected her brother, so he both respects and fears her. La Tai points a finger at the young man, asking his sister just who he is. She twists her brother's ear sharply and introduces Wu Chen as her new man. The goons glance at their boss, also wondering if this could possibly be his new brother-in-law. He asks if this is just another one of her, demanding why they should accept someone so plain. Li Ruoqing quickly apologizes, saying she's just been feeling off lately. But then she flips the script on him. For the whole mess, Wu Chen just asks her what this little act is all about. Are you scared Ding Ruoqing will kill me? She insists she isn't scared at all, but her words trail off, her resolve faltering. Wu Chen smirks, noting with amusement how her brother is completely frozen. Liu Tai blurts out, sister, are you pregnant? And is the kid his? He glances over, sizing up Wu Chen. He's not bad, he admits, but hardly the best looking.
Plus, his mind starts racing with questions.
His sister always went for older guys. So why is she with this kid in his 20s? Something feels off. He starts to suspect. Maybe Wu Chen is just trying to use her? That must be it. He's a con artist. He's got to rescue his poor, naive sister from this scoundrel. Then, Leroy asks how they first met. Wu Chen answers coolly. 3 months ago, she was at a university. Recruiting for an internship? Li Roking is inwardly shocked. How could he possibly know that that information is true? Her brother, then, starts grilling her. You've only known him for 3 months, and you actually trust him. He then spins on Wu Chen, accusingly. Weren't you with another woman at the Lotus Bar yesterday? But Wu Chen just clarifies. That was Mu Qian, daughter of the East China Sea Mu Group's owner. That massive biomedical conglomerate. In fact, he adds, Li Rutai should be thanking him. He's the one who stopped Liu Hui from putting the moves on her. And the Mu Group. They're on another level. If the East China Group is a dragon, his family's company is just a tiny little snake, even if they somehow want to fight against the Mu Group. The price they'd pay would be astronomical. A steep price, Liu Tai realizes the weight of the situation and offers his thanks, even starting to call him brother. Li Robing notes that she never expected to see her brother, humbled by Wu Chen, but he cuts her off to discuss something vital. He reveals that a higher-up plans to shut down the Crown Club. Liu Tai erupts. That's impossible. I handled everything I would have known if that were true, Wu Chen admonishes him. You shouldn't have used that video to blackmail officials, and your business with Zhou should have ended long ago, his sister confronts him about still keeping contact with Z. As he tries to compose himself, Wu Chen confirms that Zai sold him out and pinned all the blame on him. Liu Tai questions, how could you know my business when not even my
Own sister was aware, Wu Chen
states, I don't need to explain myself to you. I'm here for her, and I'm only helping you to spare her. Any sadness? With a pointed finger, Liu Tai threatens him. You won't walk out of here alive if you don't start talking. Li Rubbing begs him to calm down so Wu Chen can finish, but her brother refuses to believe these so-called lies. At last, Wu Chen reveals that 4 months ago, Luobo was reassigned to the police department to take over the club's case. He explains that investigators posed as
customers gathering a mountain
of evidence. He then presents a key list containing the names of all the undercover agents. Liu Tai orders a subordinate to warn everyone and start grabbing their weapons. A moment later, he tells the same man, take your crew and investigate every name on this list. Furthermore, he makes it clear that if the information is flawed, the blame
will be all yours.
Lounging on the sofa, Wen simply asks, what's your budget? How much are you prepared to lose, Liu Tai?
Inspects a camera with intensity. Then,
he smashes the device on the table and roars, now capture every last person on that list. But Win warns him, if even one gets away, the police will move on the casino evidence. Furious, Rotai slams the table. Then what am I supposed to do? He's asked if he'd rather go to jail or walk away clean from this. He finally caves, asking, is there a solution?
Wu Chen calmly advises him, tell your men
to stand down for now. At last, Liu Tai turns to him, desperate. What is the next step? The young man replies, just apologize. I will handle everything else. Leroy finally gets it. He needs to show some respect. Wu Chan is practically family now. Leroy asks him to please help, reminding him that they
are family. But Wu Chen says that her
brother doesn't see him that way. At this, Leroy laughs, assuring him that, of course, he's part of the family. He apologizes, claiming he only feared Wu Chen was fooling his sister. But the young man questions if that's the real reason. Just for her, Wen decides to offer a plan. First step is to get rid of Sehu. Who knows? Way too much. Nothing works while he's still alive. Yahoo often went to Village 17 for drugs with his lover, so nobody would question him dying of an overdose. Leroy is impressed by the idea. Excellent. Secondly, all the proof is with Liaobo, so they just have to retrieve it and destroy it for their
own security? Leroy agrees once more.
I'll get him, he vows. Wuan calls him. This plan is insane. He claims Liao is far too valuable to just be captured so easily. Instead, he reveals a hidden safe's precise location. He even provides the password. The mission, it's a secret op. They just need to grab the evidence and torch it. Liu is shocked. He's stunned by the intel's detail, especially that little tidbit about the safe's password. Then comes point 3. Wu Chen insists the elder must know everything, particularly about the dealings with Shahu, because the Wei family is now involved. The Li and Wei clans are ancient rivals whose last brutal war forced Master Li to forge an alliance with the Dings. He warns the Wei family will seize this chance to attack the Lis again, and the elder must be prepared for it. Leroy understands and agrees to deliver the warning. The final step. Wu Chen casually suggests burning down the Crown Club. His brother, naturally, asks why. Wu Chen explains a small, well-placed fire in the media would be the perfect excuse to close the club down.
Without anyone asking questions, follow these 4 steps, he guarantees.
And it'll all be fine. Leroy clutches
Her brother's arm, checking if he got all that.
He just gives her a reassuring nod. Suddenly,
Liu Tai's phone rings. The news is bad, he's down 2 billion.
Without a pause, he announces he's on his way. He tells his sister something blew up at the casino and asks her to stay put. Wen already knows it was Chen.
Guang Jun, the head of Fushin Aluminum.
His brother demands to know how he knows. Back at the casino, a dealer rattles.
The cup, hyping up the crowd.
The story spreads. Shen Guangjun showed up the day before with pros from Macau, dead set on avenging his humiliation. Suffered. Wu Chen concluded that inside a casino, your social status is worthless. Everyone gets taken for a ride there. He explained that the entire casino business is just a fancy way to steal people's money. Shen Guangjun lost hundreds of millions, and because of it, he uncovered that many other wealthy figures had also been scammed. So he spilled everything to the Wei family, who saw their chance to unite
with others and bring down the Lis.
He admitted, under normal circumstances, he'd never dream of it. But now, he knows their reign is over. Leroy snarled that he wouldn't be breathing for much longer, for daring to cross him. As they walked through the casino, Wu Chen advised him to keep a level head and not get provoked. The Crown Club's player conceded defeat. Shen Guangjun raked in the chips, celebrating. I'm rich, one of the onlookers, congratulated him on his victory. That was a beautiful hand as the group neared E. He boasted about his huge winnings, but Liu Tai simply replied that the Li family could afford such a pathetic loss. Shen Guangjun shot back a taunt. All your club's experts have lost. Seems you don't have any real talent. Wu Chen calmly took a seat at the table. I wouldn't be so quick to say that. Then he shuffled the cards with blinding skill.
Showing a perfect hand, he invited boss Shen
to play a couple of rounds. Shen Guangjun burst out laughing. Where did you dig up this rookie? Mr. Li, you are far too modest. He then added, this guy lost 200 million to me, and he still wants another round. A young man wondered if his brother-in-law was also a gambling master. But Li Robing admitted she had no idea. The opponent at the table began to explain that true masters can read their challengers. A game of pure psychology, something a kid should have no experience with. Wu Chen coolly explains he can guess the man's hand just by his tells. Li Rubing approaches, sizing up the young man. He asks if he's truly ready for this high-stakes game. He gets a bold promise in return.
I can crush any casino.
Just then, his rival notices Wu Chen isn't even looking at his own cards.
Is that some kind of weird habit?
Our hero then flips his card over. Bam! The ace of spades. The opponent has no choice but to fold. His hand was clearly inferior. Soon, more chips hit the felt, followed by a 500,000 bet. His foe just adjusts his glasses and coolly matches the amount. The dealer slides fresh cards out, asking for the next round of bets. She turns to the next player, who immediately announces his fold.
Bets of 500,000 continue.
Players from both sides keep folding. Wen smirks. I've won again. An observer whispers to Shen Guangjun, your hired gun's luck is fading. He still has faith. Boss Li's luck
will suddenly turn around for him.
Shen Guangjun grins back. The boy thinks victory is his for the taking. He's already caught in the trap.
A flashback shows the opponent's plan.
He loses intentionally to study his foe. Shen Guangjun states that inside, everything now depends on him.
Another watcher notes that Leroy
Tai is down 200 million. With that much on the line, he
can't possibly back out now.
In the 30th round, the dealer calls. Wan raises the stakes to 1 million. His opponent sees the bet was just made without even a glance at the cards. And still, he decides to call the bet, soon. The young man goads him to raise the stakes. By another million? At last, his opponent reveals he was holding a completely useless hand, while our hero held a solid pair of kings, securing what looked like a certain victory. Confident in his position, the player decides to go all in. But the young man coolly observes that with the cards on the table, his brother-in-law actually has better odds. Though nothing is guaranteed just yet, Wu Chen then makes his own declaration.
I'm going all in too.
In response, his opponent smugly suggests throwing another 100 million onto the pile. However, the reply is legendary. 100 million is pocket change, followed by A staggering 200 million chip bet. Ew. Women approach, delivering mountains of chips. To the table. Wu Chen raises again, by another 100 million, and asks what. His rival's next move will be watching closely. The opponent notices a subtle tell. The kid only points to his card when the stakes are highest. From this, he concludes, there's an overwhelming probability. The card is an ace, unwilling to risk it. He folds the round, commenting that Wu Chen's greed just cost him a potential 50 million more, Li Robing agrees, certain that the card had to be an ace. But the answer he receives is a simple denial. And with a flick of the wrist, the truth is revealed a measly 2 of hearts. Furious, his opponent accuses the young man of tricking him, only to hear the ice-cold reply. You lacked the guts to see it through. He then admits to having figured out yet another one of his opponent's habits. The next card on the table is a 9 of diamonds. Instantly calculating the odds, the player knows that unless his hidden card is the 9 of spades, his defeat is certain. Impossible. Shen Guangjun confirms that. The key was that he never saw hand at all. Convinced, his opponent declares that the time has come, stating, the net is closing. Then he proposes one last hand. To decide it all, he bets his 200 million, and Wu Chen accepts. Li Robing asks if a bet of 200 million isn't too risky, but the young man beside her just smirks, stating there was no problem. Shen Guang. Jun notes that his own player is radiating pure confidence. Next, the opponent shoves his chips forward, confirming the massive bet. Meanwhile, he lectures Wu Chen. In a game, the key is not to lose. You're cool, he then adds. Without mental control, no one can ever get far. And with that, the card is revealed a 9 of diamonds, followed by the declaration, the 200 million is already mine. The opponent's cronies erupt, certain that victory is guaranteed. And the entire match is over. Taking advantage, Shen Guangjun taunts Mr. Li, asking if he's worried about losing such a small sum. Wu Chen, in turn, just invites Li Robing to see the card for herself. To the shock of everyone, the card, revealed as a 9 of spades. Stunned, the opponent demands, in disbelief, wanting to know how and when he'd read the cards. In response, Wu Chen simply asks, did you really think I saw nothing? Wu Chen explains that he was checking the cards from the very first round, doing so without anyone noticing. He then states, my opponent is a decent player, but far too confident to grasp my style in just a few rounds. Hands, planting a seed of doubt. Were those flaws really flaws, and were those habits just an act? Wu Chen pushed further, questioning if his foe truly believed he was being played. He'd always been the one running this whole game. The young man then reminded Shen Guangjun that the money wasn't his, and now he was deep in trouble. The player tried to argue, but was cut off with the suggestion to take this outside. But before that could happen, Wu Chen blocked their path. He asked, and where do you think you're going? Shen Guangjun snapped back. Can't I leave now that I've lost? He then accused Mr. Li of treating his guests so poorly. Finally, Li's companion asked Wu Chen, why can't they just leave? Wu Chen said he would explain later, and simply asked them to lend him a knife. Then he showed the blade, asking calmly, what do you make of this? In a flash, he seized the cheater's arm, and an ace of spades fell right from his sleeve. He then revealed that he'd spotted the card theft during a check, but chose to ignore the cheap trick. Since the game wasn't over, the man who lent the knife erupted with fury, demanding, how dare you cheat right in front of me? He then turned to Shen Guangjun, demanding a real explanation. The cheater began to stutter, claiming it was all a simple misunderstanding. Wu Chen grabbed him from behind, slamming him onto the table. Next, he pinned the man's hand flat against the surface and asked, do you know the price for when the rules are broken? Without a single hesitation, he declared, it's time to face the consequences looming over the fallen man. Wu Chen stared down at Sheng, to Guangjun, asking, what's your excuse? The answer he received was nothing but a pathetic denial. It wasn't me. The cheating was all his idea. Hearing enough, the knife was retrieved. It was returned with a simple command. Handle the rest of this mess. Their business here was concluded. But before they left, one final warning. Don't even think about touching them here. As they left, Li Robing asked, so, did you enjoy stabbing that guy's hand? She got an immediate flat no. Intrigued, the woman pressed him. Really, finally. He glanced back. He shot back a question. How would you feel about jamming a knife in your own hand? In the car, Li Robing noted. I never expected you to be such a pro. Wu Chen took the compliment, but reminded her, just don't forget to pay me. She sighed. Is money all you ever think about? But moments later, a new tension filled the quiet car. He leaned back, completely unbothered.
We've got a tail, he informed her.
At that very instant, in the car behind, the driver warned his boss, "We're being followed too." Hearing this, Lee Robbing ordered, "Get rid of them." She then assumed, "That creep Ding Rolong is still sending his dogs to watch me."
Wu Chen immediately shot that idea down.
"It's not him," he stated plainly. He then added, "And you aren't their target." Calmly, he put his hand right over hers. "Don't be afraid," he promised her.
I will take care of this. A moment later,
She broke the silence. "You must be hungry," Lee Rowing then declared. "For your performance today, you deserve something special." Later, at the restaurant, Wu Chen asked, "Aren't you worried people—"
will mark me as a competitor, since
"Everyone here knows you," she just replied, without a second thought. "In fact, I want everyone here to get to know you." At that very moment, a man approaches their table. "Greeting, Miss Lee. You came to eat here?" "As well." She nods and casually explains, "My boyfriend was craving Cantonese food, so I decided to bring him here." She then gestures to Wu Chen. "This is Mr. Han from the Longcheng Innovation Group." Mr. Han greets him with a broad smile, saying,
what a pleasure to meet you, you suit.
"Ms. Lee perfectly." Wu Chen just thanks him for the kind words. The man then,
Apologizes for the brief interruption.
before he leaves, he explains, "My client just arrived, so I must be going afterward." Lee Rowing remarks, "Handley is a decent man. He's an official in the East China Sea Chamber of Commerce." Wu Chen simply says, "You don't need to introduce him, I know." "Him better than you think," she just agrees, adding, "He's one of the most successful businessmen in this area." Then he casually comments, "Not everyone must be so eager to be your friend." Lee Robbing smirks, explaining, "I've made plenty of rivals, especially among women." She then adds, "But being my enemy is a foolish choice." Wu Chen agrees as a sharp voice cuts in. Recognizing Miss Lee, a blonde woman appears, asking, "Since when did you get yourself a boyfriend?" Wu Chen observes. Her carefully, sensing immediately that she's a business rival, Lu Kaixia comments, on the obvious age gap between them, clearly trying to provoke Lee Robbing. "Wow, there's quite an age difference between you two." Faced with this attack, Lee Rowing tries to shut her down. "I'll take that as a bad joke, for Lulan's sake." Even so, the blonde continues her assault.
Oh, since when do you care about what?
Other people think Lee Rowing slams the
Table and shouts. That's enough, but
Wu Chen calmly takes her hand. Before the chaos erupts, calmly, he says, "Easy now, control yourself." He then declares, "I'll handle this whole situation." He rises, facing Luca. "Kaishia," she glares at him, asking,
why are you looking at me like that?
Wu Chen replies, "It's nothing, really."
I just have this feeling I've seen you.
Somewhere, a spark of memory hits him. "Did you ever work in a nightclub?" Liu Kaisha explodes, accusing him of libel. "Do you have any idea who I am?" Wu Qin replies, "Your past isn't something that plastic surgery can erase." Shocked, the woman wonders, how could he know I was in nightclubs and had procedures? That was 10 years ago. Lee Rubin comments, "Your information network is better than I thought." Still, he smirks, "It's far too early for compliments. The best is still to come." Just then, a man walks to Kaishia. "What's all this fuss?" She begs him to get her revenge. Crying that she's been insulted, he soothes her, promising that it will all be handled. The man turns to Lee Rubing and asks, "Who is this?" She introduces him. "He's my boyfriend." "Wu Chen?" The man then scoffs.
By shaming my wife, you have chosen
"To offend me. This won't just end with a few words," but Wu Chen is completely unfazed. "I have someone who can make this go away from me." Luanian sneers. "You really think that?"
Standing next to Ms. Lee makes you safe.
But the young man simply clarifies, "I wasn't actually talking about her." A moment later, he reveals the person. "I mean, is Mahuang." The man freezes, staring in shock. "How do you know?" That name, Wu Chen steps closer to Luan. "Can we have a word in private?" Taking him to a corner, he says, "I have two tales to unravel." Our first story starts with Liu Leiwen. 10 years ago, she walked into a nightclub hunting for a quick score, and she hit the jackpot with a wealthy client. This man was a demolitions mogul who, after a bad fight, learned from a doctor he would likely struggle to have any children in the future, drowning his sorrows. The client let this devastating secret slip. Upon hearing this, a wicked plan formed in Luluan's mind. A master plan. She went under the knife, changing her face, her name to Liu Kaishu. And then she began posing as the tycoon's devoted lover. 3 months later, surprise, Liu Kaishu was pregnant and delivered a baby boy. Wu Chen then reveals that the child was never the client's, but was actually the result of her affair with another man. The treacherous pair paid a
doctor to completely fake the paternity test. He
suspects that Liguanian must have seen. The boy looked nothing like him, but chose to live a lie, thanks to his desperate need for an heir. Finally, he explains that the grand finale was to let the rich man die in a tragic accident and then inherit his
billions. Luanian scoffs. I can't possibly
believe such a wild story based on just your words. Wooin then pivots, asking about his wife's
cousin, the one working at his company. He
drops another bomb. That man is her lover. He concludes the two of them are still playing you for a complete fool. Wooin informs Luan. Just yesterday, your wife left with her lover, using the stairs to avoid being spotted. I suggest you check the security cameras. He adds, or you could just confront her directly, but, he explains, to make her confess everything.
You'll have to set a little trap for her. Soon after, the husband approaches his wife, calling out, Kaisu he
asks, were you and your cousin at the office yesterday? She confirms, but Lou contradicts her story, saying, funny, your cousin told me you two had gone out to visit a
client. Cornered, she quickly denies it.
You've got the wrong person. Without missing a beat, Lou declares, I'll call and verify your little story. Suddenly,
Caillou completely changes her tune and goes on the attack. And you, why didn't
you protect me from that rude man? A sharp slap echoes as Lu Guan yells, you think I'm blind to the scandal? Brewing between you two, he points, ordering, get out, as she retreats. He adds a chilling promise. We will settle this later. Lu then turns to the couple with a deep apology. I am so sorry for all this, Li Rubbing reassures him. Your secret is safe. The man then confesses his sorrow. All I ever wanted was a child. I never knew I'd be used like this. Lu Guan sadly accepts his fate of being childless. But Wu Chen cuts in. About that.
You have a fine son, utterly confused.
The old man asks, what are you saying? Wu Chen grins, reminding him there's still another story to tell. He begins, a tale of two childhood sweethearts.
A classic love story of two kids who thought they'd be together forever.
Life, however, had other plans. The man struck it rich, betrayed her, and vanished with his new mistress. He took all their money, clueless that his love was carrying his child. She gave birth to a son, cut off her family, and raised the boy all on her own, telling him his father was long dead. That boy grew into a huge success, built a family, and they all live well. Luan hangs on every word, asking the name. Wu Chen reveals, his name is Mei, after his incredible mother. The man asks if she ever found love again. He confirms she didn't, having lost all trust in men. She's in Donghai, and she knows you're
wealthy now, but she never came for you.
She hunted for him, her heart aching from his betrayal. Wu Chan gives Luan her address, a final chance. He declares it's on him to discover if a path to forgiveness even remains. Luanian walks off, vowing that if he succeeds, he'll be in the man's debt forever. Leroing smirks. Well, now he really
owes you one. Wu Chan just grins.
A favor like that might come in handy.
With that, he bids a casual farewell.
He steps out of the car, turning to leave. I'll see you tomorrow, he calls back. But just then, her voice stops him cold. She claims there's something vital he absolutely needs to know.
Oh, and what might that be, he asks.
Suddenly, she yanks him in by the jacket for a kiss. Since Ding Dong enjoys spying so much, she whispers, I thought I'd give him a real show. Wu Chan blinks.
Was that your first time? She glares.
Is that also part of your intel? Our hero just deadpans. Your technique? Kind of hurt my mouth, you know. He says his goodbyes and makes his exit. The scene shifts to a dark apartment complex. Inside, a girl is complaining loudly. Ugh, I'm starving over here. But her friend is firm. We have to wait for the creep to show up.
Who? She away sighs dramatically. I wish
I had been the one to do it.
But her friend insists. She was totally brainwashed.
He's not getting away this time. The girl wonders, how did he know all that stuff about her no one told him? Her friend quickly denies everything. She didn't say a single word. Right now, she declares, the priority is teaching that sleazebag a lesson. The long-haired woman tries to explain. Look, I just wanted to ask about the guy. I didn't expect her to react like that. As the two bicker in the hallway, Wu Chan silently appears behind them. A finger juts out. It's him. There. He spins around, a smirk on his face. And just like that, he appears. The girl glares at him. You absolute scoundrel. You used her, but he just counters. Then why? Did you even come searching right away her? Friend shields her, ordering fiercely. Don't you dare come near her. Wu Chen simply
scoffs. I'm just opening the door.
The fiery friend snaps. Are we just invisible to you? She lunges forward. But her friend quickly holds her back. Just then, Wen drops a bombshell about Shui. Being the one who was betrayed, she's left, completely stunned. He explains. 4 days ago, her precious boyfriend visited his side piece. First and only came crawling back when his wallet was empty. The girl's eyes widen. Is that for real, Wu Chun? Coolly suggests. Ring him up if you have any doubts. Annoyed, she declares, fine, I'll call just to shut you up. I know how to pick my men, thank you. On the call, she demands to know where he is. He dodges the question, claiming he forgot cash at his place. That's when it hits her. He's lying. She bolts out the door, ready to commit murder. Her friend rushes too. Go after her. But Wu-en sweeps her up, in his arms, inviting her inside. Xiaowei blurts out, hey, why are you carrying me? He replies. A princess shouldn't have to walk, but she's not having it. I can walk just fine on my own, put me down yet. He completely ignores her, marching right into the apartment as she protests loudly. Let me go. The next morning, Ween is up, sitting on the bed, tying his laces. He asks why she's still asleep. Still in bed, she grumbles back. You totally wrecked my beauty sleep. He casually tosses her his number. Next time, just call me. Don't wait around like that. But from a car outside, a masked figure watches his every move as he leaves. Wu Chen. He places a call, summoning someone over. The location, his private training ground. He's pushing his body to the limit, needing to sharpen his skills after angering the mighty ding-dong. Then he pauses. With a smirk, he announces his guest has finally made an appearance. Once a mere puppet, Wang Jiangyuan had clawed his way to power, expanding his territory with Li Tai's backing. In just years, he became the youngest of 4 titans who rule 90% of the entire entertainment world. Wang approaches, offering a weak excuse. He claims his men were only there to guarantee Wu Chen's safety, but our hero cuts him off, revealing a fatal flaw. Liu Tai has no clue you were tailing me, especially not with robbing. He then warns that Liu is dangerously protective of his younger sister. The man pales. Wu Chen reassures him, if I wanted to expose you, I wouldn't have met you here. Cornered, Wang demands, so what do you want from me? Wu Chen grins. To be your ally, with all your people. You're bound to need some real help. Eventually, a clever power play. Then feel free to call on me for support. Anytime, Wang agrees, a new alliance forged. Things will be smoother. While I have endless information, I simply don't have your kind of manpower. Just then, a frantic call comes through. There's an emergency, he replies coolly. I'm already on my way, before leaving. Wang offers his own luxury car and fresh clothes as a peace offering. Please, use these for your transportation needs. Wu Chen accepts the gift without a second. Thought in a busy office somewhere. A woman sighs. I'm sorry, there are no more slots available. Another assistant frantically tries to move an appointment. Leroing hangs up, realizing her target won't to make it to the press conference. Just as Wu-en shows up, the moment he enters, he asks, did I miss the chaos? She reveals their new spokesperson got into a suspicious car accident. This was right after he exposed Ding. Ruang's shady plans? Wu Chen smirks. Yeah, that's definitely not a coincidence. Frustrated. Lie. Rubing snaps. Ding. Ruang is cheating by using his family's connections, seeing his chance. The young man offers to find her a replacement. She asks urgently, you have someone in mind already, we're out of time. He casually shows her his phone. A movie star's picture appears. Is she qualified enough for you, Li? Robbing scoffs. A superstar like Tao Yang wouldn't even glance my way, much less become our spokesperson. She sighs, knowing full well he's trying to help, but tells him there's no need to show off, since she clearly doubts him, Wu Chen suggests. Then how about a little wager? He bets Tao Yang will be in her office tomorrow morning, ready to sign. The actress Tao Yang is a top-tier international celebrity, all thanks to her blockbuster film, The Sword and Autumn Water. Because of that, she became one of the highest-paid stars in all of China. Li Robing knows he can't get her to sign tomorrow, since the star is filming overseas. Seeing her disbelief, Wu Chen proposes the bet, and she asks what it will finally take for him to leave. He bets he can bring the actress to her office tomorrow. If he fails, he'll hand over $20 million. But if he succeeds, she'll pay the same. $20 million for the sponsorship. Then he adds one more condition. Don't get jealous when I win. She asks why. Since their entire relationship is a sham, Li Robing reminds him he can see whomever he wants, as she has no right or reason to interfere. Wen calls his bluff, asking for 20 million Chaisen to be wired for the operation. He then coolly turns his back and makes a quick call to collect a favor. Just like that, Li Robing agrees. In a different office, a subordinate reports to Boss Wu that the coast is clear. The legendary gamer brothers are ready. Wang Jiangyuan introduces the pair, known for their gaming skill, asking what Wu Chen plans to do with them. Wu Chen's orders are simple: fire up the computers. They are to launch the Yishu Xianglong, version of the game, Legendary City Lord. He tells them to create accounts on the third server, which just opened. The day before at 5, using King of Hegemony as their guild prefix. After logging in, they're to await his signal in the new player zone while he funnels cash in to found the clan 4. Hours later, a team of players is fighting. A giant boss shouting that it's just
One blow away from death. One.
player dives in to land the final glorious hit. Stunned by the power of their god tier accounts, they watch as the monster falls. The system announces that the Kings of Hegemony Union has claimed the server's first dungeon clear, as a rare ring drops for a reward. The red-haired player demands they hand over one of their drops. Wang Zhangyuan reveals that the King of Hegemony clan
Completely steamrolled the old #1 gang.
the Dragon Slayers by spending over 8 million Chami seeds on gear and levels. Now there
Are no casuals left on the server.
it's a war between the King of Hegemony and the Dragon Slayers when declares that the time for the second stage has arrived of the plan. A message from leader Tatsu is sent to all members of the King of Hegemony clan, announcing that the battle for the city has begun and that everyone must prepare to face the Dragon Slayers. The fight quickly dominates the city's main square. He orders everyone to gather there and prepare for the confrontation against the Dragon Slayers. One of the players approaches, incredulous at the amount of money invested, supposing he is just a big fan. The leader of the Sky Dominating Dragon's clan comments that since both sides have similar strengths, it's
Unclear who will emerge victorious. Woo.
Chen replies that the outcome will be decided very soon. The rival leader then asks how he intends to win given his confidence. To everyone's surprise, Wu Chen states that he will be the winner. He then turns to his own clan members and orders everyone to pay attention. He tells them to remove their equipment. Soon after, he shouts, "Everyone log out of the game." And the avatars begin to disappear one by one. The rival leader questions him, not understanding what he's doing. Desperate, he pleads, "Don't go when the dispute isn't over yet." Wen approaches and comments on how difficult it is to face an opponent like him. The rival reminds him that he invested 10 million and states that if Wen leaves now after spending almost everything, he won't be able to become the boss. Wu Chen explains that his wife's company is going through difficulties and he needs to help her. The opponent laughs and offers to help, saying he knows several actresses and can arrange as many as he wants for him. Full of arrogance, he even brags that he could get even Tao Ying with just one phone call. Wu-en smiles discreetly. He smirked. The rival finally took the bait. Wu Chan casually announced he had a business trip to East China and wouldn't be playing anymore, which shocked his rival, who realized Wen was also from that very region. The opponent tried to stop him, but Wu-en's avatar simply vanished from the game outside. He fired off a text saying that his wife was in a rush and taunted that his rival better have a backup plan, since he knew his personality so well. Then he thanked his companions for their hard work and sent another message.
Arranging a meeting at the Qingyuan.
Building outside a massive skyscraper, Man recognized him as Chief Lei inside.
Was Li Lei Chong, the second son of the powerful Lei family from Hongfa Industry?
Stepping inside, the visitor introduced himself. As Wu Chen, LeChong scoffed. "Do you know who you're standing before?" And Wu Chen replied coolly, "Your reputation is widely known." LeChong pressed, "Which family are you from?" The young man simply returned the question, asking why he was so paranoid, afraid your own brother might kill you. The Hongfa family was among the top 10 in the country, and the
Eldest brother, Lu, considered anyone who associated with LeChong Dong.
traitor. Still, he insisted on knowing which family Wu Chen served, calmly. Wu Chen told him to relax, stating that he didn't belong to any family and that this meeting was purely fate. Since he got no straight answer, LeChong decided to investigate if this young man was a pawn sent by his brother, seeing him as nothing but a messenger. He then changed the topic to his wife's problems, wondering why he couldn't even get a spokesperson after spending so much money in game. Wu-en simply explained that someone was causing him trouble, as he never imagined they'd dare run over his spokesperson with a car. Chen asks if he blew all his cash in the game and was now causing trouble just to vent. But then he offers to help find a new spokesperson, asking for the company's name. Wu Chen reveals they produce cosmetics and are called Symphony Fashion. The moment he learns the wife is Li Rowing Le, Chong just laughs in disbelief. He comments that he should have just said he was from the Li family, but Wu Chen flatly denies being considered part of their family. Soon after, he calls Li Rowing, who immediately questions if he blew her 10 million on games.
From her bathtub, she coolly says she
can't explain right now, and then proposes they raise the stakes, stating, "The loser will have to kneel and apologize." Lecheng asks what they were talking about, shocked by the thought of the great Li Rowing kneeling to this boy. Wu Chen explains it was just a few words, that she was simply being a bit temperamental, and they ultimately made a ridiculously high bet. Lecheng invites him for tea, asking him to spill more details about this wager. Wu Chen says someone is targeting her company, but she refuses to let him interfere, trying to protect him. From a man named Ding Ruang, Lecheng confirms that everyone knows that name. Wu Chen adds she's terrified Ding Rong will attack him just to get to her. At that, he rises, declaring, "Ding Rong is targeting Rowing, and I can no longer just hide like a total coward." Impressed, Lecheng says he's right and urges him to push forward. Li Rowing reveals their wager she granted him full authority over the upcoming new product launch. Wu Chen explains that if the press conference is a total success, he wins. But if anything goes wrong, she is destined for victory. If he loses, he must obey her every command, reduced to nothing but a pretty face. At this, Lecheng steps in to help, saying the whole problem is just finding a spokesperson for their cause. He confidently assures him it will be handled right away. Elsewhere, a woman draped in a towel hears her phone buzzing. She answers the call, greeting the person. On the other end, simply as father, Lecheng orders her to take an immediate vacation and fly to East China for urgent business, promising he will cover any penalty for her breach of contract. A moment later, he flashes his phone at Wu Chen, declaring the matter completely settled. Everything unfolded perfectly, though Tao Man's contract fee was not cheap at all. He then starts typing, unwilling to treat his new friend unfairly, especially one who would offend the mighty Ding family for him. Lecheng mentions that their meeting was destiny, and says Wu Chen can now call him brother, but the young man hints that their shared destiny is far greater than he knows. Wu Chen then tells him to read the text message he just received. The text tells him to find the owner of a specific number to finally uncover the truth about the car crash from 10 years ago. Wu Chen warns they must move fast, as Xiang Xingjun could flee the country at any second. Lecheng replies that his people are already on high alert, but agrees they need to move quickly to prevent his escape that terrible night. 10 years ago, a truck deliberately smashed into their car at an Chengyi intersection. Despite his swift reaction, their vehicle was sent flying in moments. Later, it erupted in flames. He was lucky enough to survive, but his wife perished before his very eyes. For the 3 months he was the ICU, his agent delivered crucial intel. The driver's name was Shengjun, an employee of his brother, Lei Yu. But the man vanished and all the evidence disappeared. For 10 years, he played the part of a rich, jaded playboy, patiently waiting for the day he could find Xiang Shengjun and uncover the truth. Now, his security chief reports that their target's identity and address have finally been confirmed, much to his satisfaction. He bids farewell, declaring he's in Wu Chen's debt and that he can ask for any favor he wants. In only 2 days, Wu Chen's new life has already earned him 2 sworn brothers, Lu Guan and now Li Cheng. But first, business first, he had to get his 20 chi to million in that groveling apology. He dials her number, but the line is busy, and the call quickly disconnects. He follows up with a text message, then decides to let it go and just head home. A red light flashes and traffic grinds to a halt. It was then that he spotted a convoy of luxury cars and recognized one of the drivers, and in the car right beside him was Su Qingying, hailed as the most beautiful woman in the East China Sea. She was a woman who left a deep impression on him in his past life. She was known for her absolute obedience and docile nature. Since fate brought them together, he saw a prime opportunity for a little fun. He greeted her with a casual wave, but she just rolled up her window, unfazed. He sent a text telling her she was even more stunning in person than on TV. He hoped the message, with its hidden meaning, would prompt her to take the initiative and negotiate, but instead, he got a quick reply from none other than his brother-in-law, Lai Rui, summoning him to a meeting. Li Rui, house telling him the property is now officially his. He explains it's a pre-wedding gift, since his sister is pregnant, and Wu-in was a huge help. Just yesterday, the next morning on July 10th, a woman steps into the reception, informing them she has an appointment with President Li Wen. The receptionist asks for a name. She introduces herself simply as Tao. Finding no record, the employee asks her to wait a moment while she checks. Meanwhile, in the meeting room, Li Rowing is grilling her team for their failure to find anyone for the conference. After 13 days, Annoyed, she rips into them for their high salaries. And delivering zero results, she's unaware of Win's new connection at that moment. She impatiently snatches the phone, asking what this is about. Upon hearing, Tao Many is at reception. Her whole demeanor shifts, ordering them to bring her to the office, wondering if Wu Chen was the one who sent her. She greets Miss Tao, apologizing for the delay, and the actress praises her and Mr. Wu as a beautiful couple. Now inside, Li Rowing invites her to sit, asking how she met her husband. Tao explains she doesn't know him
Personally, but her godfather, Le Cheng.
is Wu Chen's brother and sent her. Hearing this, Li Rowing's brain short circuits.
Li Cheng from the legendary Hong. Fale family is Tao's godfather.
And Wu Chen's brother without wasting
A second, she apologizes and asks
her assistant to bring in the contract. To be signed on the spot, they shake hands, both satisfied with their future work and new cooperation with the contract. Signed, Li Rowing reminds Wu Chen with a grin
that it's time he apologized for.
Losing their bet, curious, she asks how met Lele Cheng. He smirks. A magician never shares his secrets, commenting
On her relentless questioning, Wu
Chen stops her before she can change the topic, demanding an apology. She rises, slips off her heels, and walks right up to him with grave formality. She reintroduces herself as Li Rubing. Then she drops to her knees on the floor and apologizes. He offers a hand, asking her to rise. But at that exact moment, Li
Rutai storms in, panicking that someone
is digging into his brother-in-law. She demands to know who it is. He reveals the investigation is from the powerful
Golden Services Group under the Sioux
family. Li Rubing asks why the Sioux would ever be targeting Wu Chen, but he bluntly replies it's not her problem and she should stay far away. She fires back, accusing him of
acting mysterious just to mess with her.
He retorts, saying she isn't even the most beautiful or wealthiest woman he's ever met, and asks where.
All her confidence comes from hearing that.
She assumes he must be surrounded by a harem of gorgeous women. He admits he knew a few in the past, but not anymore. Even so, there are women far more beautiful than her, which provokes her into demanding an example. However, he's not about to fall into that obvious trap and let them pry into his private life. She teases him, saying if he can't name one, it's okay. He doesn't need to hurt his brain. Just then, his phone rings. He smirks, commenting
that the call has finally arrived. Suching
introduces herself on the line, proposing. They meet, but he questions if that's
truly necessary. She insists, saying
some matters are better discussed
in person, scheduling a meeting at
Tongsha's club for the following morning. Li Robing demanded to know if Su Chingy was his woman. He smirked. Not yet, but maybe in a few days, who can say, although she'd never met her, Li Robing knew all about Su Chingy's situation.
Her life was practically public knowledge. Her father had raised her with intensely
strict rules and brutal discipline, even posting guards 24 hours a day, just to stop her from dating too soon. When the family patriarch got sick, he grew desperate for her to finally wed. He set up some wild conditions for her. Blind dates, including the absurd rule that any suitor had to marry into their clan. Li Rowing mused that the Su family never backs down from their demands, and Wu Chen just isn't the kind of guy to ever accept an arranged marriage. She declared it was absolutely impossible
for him to win her, daring him to
make yet another bet. He shot back. You really want to bet, not scared of losing. But she was dead serious and insisted. Wu Chen accepted. In 3 days, he said.
I'll make Su Chingy my woman.
But Li Robing gave him 30 days instead, demanding he kneel if he failed. He agreed, then asked what would happen if she was the one who lost. What do you want? She asked. He replied with a grin that he'd have to think on it. With the terms set, she agreed that if she lost this time, she would concede her total defeat. The next day, July 11th, Wu Chen showed up at the Tangsha private club, saying he had an appointment with Miss Su. At the front desk, an attendant greeted him. You must be Mr. Wu, confirming his identity. The man then led him onward. Miss Su is waiting for you. He located her on a golf course right as she perfected her swing. She turned, asking coldly, how did you learn about that incident? He replied coolly, how I know isn't what matters here. She scoffed, asking him to name a price. You really think this is just some simple blackmail? He sneered back.
Refusing money just makes you seem
more suspicious. She shot back, preparing. As she prepped another swing, he goaded her.
Go on, bury me here, that'll solve it.
But remember, he added with a smirk,
I'm Li Robing's boyfriend, no one
would ever dare to touch me. Confused, she just stared. What you really need, he said softly, is something that offers you security. He then wrapped his arms around her from behind. Let go, she demanded, her voice tight. Relax, he murmured, his voice low. I'm just showing you how to play. There's no need to make a scene. he whispered. Now you have proof I keep. My word. So why do you still hesitate? A thought sparked in her mind. If the insanely possessive Leroing saw this, she would never believe this was a lesson. He'd be torn to absolute shreds. And with that, she knew he was the one who should be truly afraid. The less she fought back, the more control she'd have when they finally swung. Her bodyguards watched, utterly bewildered.
Was she resisting or accepting this?
He leaned in. Not afraid I'll call. Leroing. She met his gaze coldly.
You're just as scared that I'll spill.
Your secrets. That makes us perfectly even.
A new question arose. Was he doing
this on purpose, giving her ammo? To use against him, he cut her off. Don't get distracted now. Correct. Your posture, just like the coach showed you. She followed his command, adjusting. Her stance? Her guards exchanged a look. They had to tell the madam immediately. One stepped away to make the call.
reporting on the young lady's predicament?
Okay, one more time, he offered. And keep those arms perfectly straight. Seeing her posture is a little off. He makes a quick adjustment. After her, swing, she asks. So, how did I do Wu Chen? Tells her she's a natural, but then adds that this will be their final lesson. Her face falls, immediately questioning his words. He calmly explains that her mother has likely already sent agents to arrest him. On cue, the mother learns he actually hugged her daughter and orders her guards to watch him. He must not escape because she's already en route. The head bodyguard confirms the orders crackling over the phone. Panicked, she asks what they do now. As her mother closes in, Wu Chen gives her a wild invitation run away. Such Yin freezes, shocked by the thought. He presses her, asking if she truly wants to live like this forever. Wu Chan tells her to stop thinking and just run, pulling her along by the hand. Seeing them bolt, the bodyguards start the pursuit. One of the men yells out, "Stop," just as their car speeds off. He orders his partner to call the boss. Over the phone, the man reports that the young lady has escaped with the guy, safely in the car. Wu Chen asks her, "Are you scared?" But she firmly denies it. Her phone buzzes. The caller ID, Mom. He suggests this is her golden opportunity to finally be herself, even for just one single day. On the other end, her mother demands to know where she is and who she's with. Such Qing Yin replies that she is just out with a friend. The woman scolds her for eloping with a strange man, declaring her a disappointment. She commands her daughter to return home this instant. As Wu Chan hits a button, such Qing Yin looks at him and says thanks, stating that for today, just this once, she is choosing to be her true self. Then she roars into the phone, "I am a human, being not some puppet on my mother's strings." With that, she boldly tosses the phone away. As the car accelerates, Wu Chen asks if she's truly prepared to escape with him. He reminds her that her family will hunt them down. She confesses she was never free, always forced to live by her mother's impossible standards, constantly told to be better than she was yesterday. He thinks she chose the right path. Su Qingyin agrees, saying this escape might be her one and only chance. Then, she bluntly asks if he is Li Rubing's boyfriend. She unbuckles her seat belt, asking if he's scared she'll expose his little secret. She leans in and plants a kiss on him. Startled, he blurts out, "What do you think you're doing?" She throws the question right back at him. Why was he kissing and biting her? "Just be quiet," he says, intrigued. Her hidden personality is quite something. In that instant, he remembers a past life where he captured her, all to satisfy a simple curiosity. On this very day, a millennium ago, he wanted to know how she became so perfect. She had opened a laptop, logging into a private forum right in front of him. Wu Chen recalls a post she wrote, a desperate vent about her suffocating life. He had replied, saying he was also tired, suggesting they run away. Reading that old post again, he understood. Her perfect image was nothing but a heavy cage that she was trapped in. That post was the key, revealing the masks and chains she wore. It also proved she had 4 hidden attributes, a cheat code he never thought he would ever need to use. And back in the present, he tells her to sit properly and buckle up. Then he asks the big question. So, where do you want to go? He could go anywhere, so he chose his domain. 4 long hours later, they finally reach his apartment building. They're asleep in bed when his phone alarm mercilessly goes off. Wu Chan answers a call from his brother-in-law, who warns that Madame Su somehow tracked him, but Wu Chan just scoffs, assuring him he'll handle everything. The moment he hangs up, the phone buzzes again. This time, it's the one and only Li Robing. She demands to know the situation, saying her brother also called her. He smirks, teasing her. "Just ask if you're worried." Then he smoothly hands the phone over to Su Qingyin, lying right beside him, whispering, "Go on, say whatever you feel like." Su Qingyin playfully takes the phone, cooing, "Who's my darling talking to?" The other end of the line goes utterly silent, shocked. Li Robing asks, "Who is this?" The woman introduces herself with a sweet voice,
I'm Su Qingyin, deeply suspicious.
Li Robing demands to know her link to Wu Chen. She replies, "Oh, we're just friends. Talking about business, not buying it."
For a second, Li Robing declares,
She's interfering with her affairs.
"Give the phone back to Wu Chan," she commands.
He takes the call back, totally unfazed.
"I'm at that old house your brother gave me?"
She immediately tells him to wait right there. Her order is clear, do not move an inch. The woman asks if he's not afraid of Li Robing. Discovering their little secret, he just scoffs.
Our relationship isn't even real.
It's just a well-guarded performance. Then he calls her out for being fake, just like the 3 others who tried before her. Wu Chan tells her to keep quiet, since not even Li Robing's own brother knows. She pushes him away, realizing he lied simply because he has no fear of Li Robing. He grips her by the chin.
Any regrets? But such chingy.
Gives no sign of remorse. Meanwhile, Li Robing drives, her thoughts racing. Wu Chen was an enigma. The real heart of this entire affair. 40 minutes later, Wu Chen answers the door and gestures for Li Robing to enter. She sweeps past, him stepping into the apartment, but she stops dead in her tracks. Where is the other woman? With a simple motion, he points towards one of the rooms.
From the kitchen, such Chingy's voice chimes. "Oh, has Miss Li arrived?"
She calls out, her tone unnervingly casual. It's been quite some time, hasn't it? Li Robing's eyes widen. There she is, such Chingy, cooking a meal for Wu Chen. The other woman turns her focus back, unfazed. The food will be ready. In just a moment, Wu Chen takes Li Robing's hand, stating it's not what it looks like.
"This is just me," he begins.
Introducing my wife? Utterly stunned. Li Robing demands, when did this happen? His simple reply, today. She presses on. Did you two even know each other? But he denies it flatly. She tries to speak,
scrambling for another question, but is cut off.
Such Chingy's voice rings out again. Dinner is served. Then she adds, Wukin, can you watch this pot for me? I just need to use the restroom. On her way out, she smiles at Miss Li. Please, make yourself comfortable. Food's coming right up. Li Robing grabs his arm. You explain at that very second. Su Qingying appears at another doorway. Honey, was the bedding put out on the
balcony? An army of Su Qingyings
seems to materialize, all doing his chores. She's the perfect housewife. Li Robing is stunned silent. Her mind goes completely blank.
Already at the table, Su Qingyi beckons, "Come,
let's eat." She lifts a piece of food to Wu Chen's lips. Say ah. He takes a bite and proclaims, this is delicious. He then offers some to Miss Li. Miss Li, you should eat, but Li Robing cuts straight to the chase. How long? Have you been seeing Wu Chen? With a serene smile, Su Qingyang replies, it was love. From our first glance, I knew he was my destiny. A perfect answer. Then she counters, is it true the rumors about your relationship? With Wu Chen being fake, Su Qingyang adds sweetly, my lips are sealed.
You two can maintain your little act. No problems from my end, of course.
The veiled threat hangs in the air. She offers more.
Shrimp to him, but he turns to Li Robing.
Why are you glaring at me like that? Su Qingyang hugs his arm tightly, declaring,
our love is very real. He belongs to me.
Unfazed, Li Robing picks up a single shrimp. Then she rises from her seat with purpose. She presents the shrimp right to Wu Chen's lips. He accepts, taking the bite from her fingers. A small smirk appears. That was delicious. He leans back. I'm stuffed. I think I ate too fast. Su Qingyang's smile tightens. She gets up to clear the dishes, saying, please rest and entertain our guest, dear. She then heads for the kitchen with the plates. The moment she's gone, Li Robing leans in. Her voice drops to a whisper. What game is this? Without warning, she grabs him by the arm. You're coming with me, she demands. Not giving him an ounce of choice, Li Robing yanks him forcefully from the room. She practically hurls him onto the sofa. Her eyes are burning. Spit it out, the truth. Wu Chen, however, is unfazed. A loss is a loss. You lost? There's no need for all these questions. A confident smirk spreads across his face. Since you lost our bet, it's time to pay. Stunned, Li Robing is left completely speechless. She can only stare back in utter disbelief. He sighs. I'm tired. I think you owe me a massage. She quickly recovers, suggesting the bedroom. It won't be very comfortable out here. And just 10 minutes later, Su Qingyi strolls in, casually asking, where everyone is? Silence answers, but then, a strange sound echoes from another room. What in the world could that be, intrigued? She creeps toward the bedroom door, calling out his name. She peeks inside and finds Li Robing giving Wu Chen a massage. Li Robing barely glances over, telling her to go rest, stating they'll be finished up shortly. Su Qingyi gets it instantly. This woman has zero shame about being seen, which could only mean one thing. These two are allies. Wu Chen is even more of a big shot than she realized, so, without missing a beat, she hops onto the bed, leaning toward Li Robing.
She makes an offer, let's do this together.
The two then begin massaging Wu Chen's back. In perfect awkward unison, Li Rowing grabs her hand, asking what kind of magic Wu Chen used to make her so utterly devoted. But Chingy just flips the question right back, curious about her intentions, and tells her to keep going. Wu Chen finally speaks up, asking her to stop and not to forget her medicine. She happily agrees, saying she'll head downstairs to grab it the second. They're alone. Li Rowing turns on him. Explain, now, Wu Chen reveals that the Su family has been digging into his life. The real problem, though, is Su Chingy running away from home with him. She asks what his plan is, warning that the mighty Su family won't just let him go, even if their engagement is off. He questions why they should break it when they can simply deal with her family. Li Rowing reminds him that, at the moment, she is his girlfriend. Wu Chen replies that's exactly why they can face this entire situation head on. She then asks why Su Chingy really ran off. He explains she just wants to live her own life. But at that moment, Wu Chen,
A call comes through from Su Qingying.
delivering the news her family has landed, he calmly tells her not to stress. He informs Li Rowing that the Su family is now downstairs. She asks if this
Was all his grand design. Finally, she admits.
she's not a fan of this particular feeling. He swears it was pure coincidence, but she sees right through him, accusing him of toying with their emotions. Li Rowing clarifies that she isn't blaming him for it. She just despises this exact feeling. He notes her words sound
Just like a spoiled little princess.
and suggests they show a united front. Wu Chen then takes her hand. Outside, a group of men blocks their path, and one of them points, marking Wu Chen as their intended target. The man makes it perfectly clear they aren't there for Li Rowing, but for him, the one they accuse of snatching their young lady. Li Rowing then demands, why would my man ever need to kidnap other girls? Right on cue, such Qingying steps between them, asking, who said I was kidnapped? She tells them not to dare use her mother's name to stir trouble, declaring this matter is strictly between the two of them. From a car nearby, Su Qingying's mother emerges and tells
Her daughter to quit this foolishness.
Li Rowing greets Mrs. Su, noting she looks as radiant and lovely as she always does. Su Qingying's mother returns the pleasantry, noting it had truly been a long time since they last met. Su Qingying's mother then addresses Wu Chen, observing he is as capable as the stories say, adding that Miss He. Li has impeccable taste. Li Rowing replies politely, saying that Mrs. Su is far too generous. The lady suggests they chat elsewhere, and Rowing agrees, saying she also had things to discuss. Later, inside the Su family's tea house, the matriarch grills Rubing about her connection to her daughter. An accusation is hurled she took Chingy without permission, a clear violation of the law. Unfazed, Rubing explains she was meant to meet Miss Chingy, but a scheduling conflict led her to send her boyfriend in her place. Still, the mother presses, then why do I hear
That Mr. Wu used force.
Rubing scoffs, saying at 27, Qingying couldn't
Possibly be forced into anything.
She suggests Mrs. Su should ask
About the real reason for the meeting.
The truth bomb drops. Qingying lives, like a puppet, unable to choose her own meals for this exact reason. The young woman looked at her with envy, wanting to be a woman just like her. Mrs. Su's eyes narrow. What are you implying with those words? Qingying explains that she needed to ask for her help. As proof, she shows the medicine she's been taking, revealing she actually bought it herself. Mrs. Su sees nothing wrong with her daughter buying her own medicine. Rubing clarifies that the medicine isn't the point. It's the fact that at 27, Qingying was thrilled to buy it alone, for the very first time. Wen silently praises her incredible logic. Rubing then stands, her voice firm. She states that Qingying is at her limit, and buying that medicine was a small act of rebellion. She then asks what could happen next if she has no one there to support her. Cornered, Mrs. Su sneers. So I should thank you. Rubing simply replies that there's no need. She sees Qingying as a true friend, and at that exact moment,
Wu Chen decides it's his turn to
enter the conversation. He rises and declares that both he and Robing work tirelessly and are just as fed up with this mess. Robing whips around, asking what he thinks he's doing, reminding him that Qingying is her friend. But he's on a roll, saying that she only helped Miss Su out of kindness and got absolutely zero thanks in return. At this, Robing places a calming hand on his shoulder, begging him to cool down. She moves closer, pleading for him not to argue, repeating that Qingying is her friend. Finally, Mrs. Su says she understands. She claims to see Miss Li's noble intentions. She then turns to face her daughter, declaring that from this very moment, she'll finally let her make her own choices. She even adds that Qingying is so lucky to have such a wonderful friend on her side. Li Robing chimes in that Qingying is an amazing person and that everyone adores her. Su Qingyi's mother notes the late hour and says her goodbyes, asking her daughter not to be so hard on herself. Surprisingly, she allows Qingying to stay,
telling her to just show up at the company.
The next morning, the trio lets out a huge sigh of relief as Wu Chen proudly declares that phase 1 of their master plan is now complete. Li Robing peeks out the window, confirming to Qingying
that her mother is gone, leaving no spies.
Overjoyed, Qingying hugs Wu Chen tightly. She asks if his anger was for real, but he just grins, saying it was all an act. Then, he picks up his phone with a glint in his eye, saying it's time to handle some business. He wonders aloud who to call first. Rubing immediately tries to intervene,
telling him to stop all his joking.
She insists that everything is resolved, but he playfully stops her, holding her back. He asks, "When did I say I'd cause trouble?" Wu Chen then turns his attention to Qingyi, asking her if she truly wants to keep
their meeting's a secret. She steps closer, calling him by name, leaving Rubing stunned.
Silence. He tells Qingyi to listen closely. He's about to make one simple call. Wen unveils his master plan for her. She will seize control of the Su family and become the CEO of Jinfu. He calls her name, waiting for her choice. She looks up, her eyes now resolute.
She declares her full acceptance.
With a satisfied smirk, he nods. He raises his phone, ready to begin. The game was officially starting. He puts the phone to his ear. Let's begin. It all starts right this second. Su Jingying glares at Li Robing and Wu Chen.
They're sitting a little too close. An intense jealousy begins to burn.
She clenches her fist, vowing to join them. Wu Chen notices their curious gazes. He casually offers to put it on speaker. During the call, his words are bizarre. He asks about nightmares and money. The man on the line is utterly baffled.
Who in the world is this? He sputters.
Wu Chen simply ends the call. Qingying asks, "Can you really do it? Take the Su family with just that." With just a few strange phrases, he turns, explaining his simple genius.
First, provoke internal collapse. Then, I invite them to join me.
Li Robing urges him to reconsider, but Wu Chen baits her with another bet.
And just like that, she agrees to tag along.
An hour later, he tells the two women to relax and have tea while he works. Stepping into the room, he's met by a man.
Right on time, the stranger remarks.
The man rises from his seat and then
cautiously checks if the door is secure.
Yao Honglin faces Wu Chen.
"So, you're him? You're the one who called me earlier."
Wu Chen confirms, and the director's questions fly. He demands to know where Biang is, and what he truly wants from all this. He's offered a threat and a hefty price, a fortune in exchange for the information.
Unfazed, Wen says they can talk money.
They'll get to the specifics later on. He notes the man has some serious nerve. The director warns him to watch his mouth, but Wu Chen presses on without fear. He asks about the cash buried on the hill, and mentions how modern tech solves cases. It makes digging up old secrets so easy.
Cornered, the director's composure breaks.
It's blackmail, and he offers 155 million to buy Wayne's complete silence. He also spills on the boss's dirty deals, and how the company's books were faked. With some help from his special lady, Yao Hong then ups the bid to 3 billion, paid out in 3 separate parts, swearing that is his absolute final offer. Just then, the door suddenly bursts open. Su Qingyin and Li Robing storm inside, calling out, "Mr. Yao!" He turns around,
stunned to see Miss Su and the chief.
Baffled, the man's mind begins to race. How did they get here? Did they hear it all? Did they hear the conversation? Qingying asks, "Mr. Yao, did you actually kill people? And set those fires?" He just stammers, unable to form a complete sentence. Wen pours tea, telling Qingyi not to rush. Let's not dwell on the past, for now. He turns to Yao Honglin with one demand. "From this moment, you will support Miss Su. Support her in all board meetings?" the director asks. "Is that really it?" Wu Chen just nods. Confirmation without a single hesitation. Relieved, Yao Hong tells Miss Su this was all just a simple misunderstanding. He then quickly gulps down the offered tea.
A clear sign he understands Su Qingyi
is the one true heir of the Su family.
Yao Honglin promises Wu Chen that now.
He will treat all of Miss Su's business as if it were his own, following her. He would follow her lead, Wu Chen states. A gentleman's word is his bond. And with that, he was free to go. Li Roing scoffed at the plan. Just one single vote. What good was that? There were over a dozen directors, and not all of them would break so easily. He then turned with a smirk. "Are you trying to provoke me?" Rubing called it for what it was. This was pure blackmail. But he just smiled. "You don't have to break everyone. Just a select few will do." Qing asked how many targets remained. His answer was simple, only 5 left. She told him not to overdo it. Later, Wu Chen met with the top brass.
The CMO, CFO, legal head.
All key players from the Jinfu group. As the night wrapped up, he said his goodbyes, heading for the car with the 2 women. Rubing still had her doubts.
How could he control the board without a majority?
He simply said some things are hard to explain. But Qingying's faith was unshakable.
I'll follow your lead completely, she said.
Because I know you're always right. He then turned to Rubing with a wild request. Can we crash at your place tonight? Her rejection was instant and loud. A moment later, she dragged them inside. Why here? She demanded. He just smiled. Rubing told Qingying to take a shower first. With her out of the way, she made her move. She pulled Wu Chen into a sudden kiss. He wrapped his arms around her, returning it. But in that moment, he saw the truth. This was all part of an act. She was baiting the paparazzi, just as he foresaw.
Rubing stared, shocked by his composure.
Far away, a camera lens flashed. They were being photographed on the balcony. Wu Chen decided he'd play along. Rubing realized he knew everything. He was aware of the photographer. That's why he was so unbelievably calm. At the company HQ in South Guang, a furious roar echoes. Ding!
Rui Long glares at photos of Li.
Rubing, showcased on the monitors. Enraged, he screams Wan's name, absolutely determined to kill him now. He summons his man, Dang Chuan, who instantly materializes before him. The order is simple, find Wei, then give him the most painful end imaginable. Jiang Chuan requests 5 days for the job.
But his boss demands it done in 3.
With no choice, he accepts the tight deadline. The next morning, when wakes, Su Qinging up, she grumbles about needing more sleep, but he just tells her to rest after her big day at work. He checks if she recalls her training. And Qingying confirms, today decides it all. A moment later, Li Rubing arrives at the door, ready to drive Qingying over to the company. Once there, Qingying is met by her staff, but she tells everyone to hold all talks for the main conference room. After that, she says her goodbyes to Miss Rubing. At 10 in the morning, the executive meeting kicks off with someone yelling at Qingying. Inside the room, her mother demands the firing of both Zhou Da and Yang Kuo. She even threatens to call the entire board of directors. Qingying rises and declares that as the new executive, VP, she can call a board meeting herself. Another exec reminds her that she holds a position that doesn't need the board's okay to fire the security team. Her mother slams the table, questioning
Why they should be fired.
She demands to know their supposed crime. She insists the company can't handle the fallout from a labor dispute. Su Qing calmly states she has a perfect reason for firing them both. She then starts to explain everything. She dredges up a major heist from 5 years ago, the one at the company's biggest store. That single robbery made the entire world doubt the group's security, and of course, the stock prices took a nosedive, sinking. The firm's value to 40 billion, Xingji, insists that Zhou Dai as security chief must finally take the fall for it all. Only then will the world see the company's resolve to overhaul its protection. She declares that only with his head
on a platter can they hope to recover. The stock price stunning everyone.
With this sudden ruthless streak, the mother agrees Zhou Dai has to go, but then
she brings up Yang Kuo, asking if he'll be held accountable too. The
daughter smugly replies that Yang Kuo isn't an employee anymore, so obviously there's no reason to blame him. With that, the mother lays her trap, revealing that Yang Kuo is nothing more than her personal bodyguard, and now she sees her daughter is just manufacturing a flimsy excuse to rebel, consumed by rage. She orders the board of directors to assemble for a meeting at 3 p.m. sharp. Meanwhile, over at the Symphony
fashion company, Li robbing grills Wu
Chen for not stepping into the chaos. But he coolly states that for now, he's content to just watch, so she asks what he's sketching with a faint smirk. Wu Chen says, I'm drawing you. He thinks to himself that Ding Rui Long is surely making his move by now,
which means it's finally his turn to
enter the stage. Sitting down, Li Rowing asks what Wen is up to, and he replies, I just wanted to make a quick sketch. She sighs. I'm buried in work. I have no time to be your model. At this, he casually suggests, just keep doing what you're doing, and act like I'm not even here. Suddenly, a text.
His phone lights up with a new art group, where a member has a very close connection
with Ding Ruyang inside the group chat. People are gossiping about a Professor Xingchen, but he stays completely focused on his sketch. He snaps a pad sahi, quick photo of the drawing with his phone. A moment later, he drops it in the group, writing, just practicing my craft at the moment. Wu Chen watches the chat, wondering why the person he's waiting for hasn't taken the bait just yet. Soon after, a smirk appears on his face, realizing the hook has finally been set. It's revealed a woman in that very group, a former colleague of Ding Ruang, secretly had an illegitimate daughter with him. A daughter who is already 14 years old. The woman starts typing a message in the art group asking, Professor Xingchen, please critique my daughter's artwork. After praising her talent, the mother asks, do you happen to be in Shanghai? Wu Chen grins. Everything was unfolding much easier than he could have hoped during their talk. The woman offers 2,000 wen for each lesson if he'll tutor her daughter. But the professor feigns some hesitation. He types, Let's discuss the details privately. The woman agrees to
Wait for his call within the next 24
hours. Wu Chen glances at his screen and declares the plan is proceeding perfectly. Now it's time to pull her right into my web, he thinks. The woman will come to Donghai and be under my control. She is the final key I need to incriminate. Ding Ryong. He then says goodbye to Lee, rowing. I need to go take care of a few things. As he leaves, he declares she and her daughter are only the first part of what's yet to come. On a call, Wu Chen reveals his true identity as a double agent to the voice on the line feigns ignorance. I have no idea what you're talking about. But then comes the real threat. Or should I pay Li Wai a little visit? Suddenly, the tone shifts. Wait, let's talk about this. Wen smirks. He sets the meeting for 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Without hesitation, the man on the other end agrees at 3. Inside the Jinfu group, a voice announces, the key players are here. Go ahead and close
the doors. With that, the woman kicks off
the board of directors meeting. Chingy's mother addresses the room. She claims the emergency meeting was called for what initially appeared to be a minor issue. She glances at her daughter, adding that everyone is free to share their thoughts. But she makes it
perfectly clear that she expects actual logic
from anyone who dares to disagree. One of the directors chimes in. Good thing I already knew what was happening. Or this would have been quite the shock. The woman then patronizingly praises Suching Ying for her bold stance, but immediately shuts her down. However, your proposal is completely unworkable. She argues that firing a loyal, long-time employee like Zhou Dai would be a grave error. The other directors quickly nod, in agreement, feeling the room's support. She continues, saying that his dismissal would create massive risks for the entire company. Once again, the board members murmur their approval. But then Ching
cuts through the noise, proposing a vote
to settle the matter right then and there.
Who supports my proposal? A hand shoots up,
causing a ripple of surprise. It seems not everyone was on the same page. Then another director raises their hand. A man notes that even Yao, Hong, and Pi Chenghe, along with Sunha and Wan,
Wen Chang, all voted in favor to top it all off.
Chen Lei also shows support. The tide was turning. Chingy's mother immediately glares at Chen Lei, demanding to know what's going on, reminding her that it was she who gave her a position in the company. But Qing Ying tells her mother not to interfere with the vote, asking for the
process to move forward. The old woman reacts
with fury at her daughter's defiance. The other board members just trade
nervous glances in a quick flashback.
Wu Chen tells Qing Yang that some people are just waiting to see a clear display of power before picking a side.
Back in the present, she knows what to do.
She needs to be even more forceful. Qing, Ying asks, who else will stand? With me. Just then, Tang Dang, Su Raiwen's most trusted man, raises his hand to cast his vote. He declares Qing Yang is no longer a child and that the woman should see her for who she is. Screaming, the mother slams the table,
calling the whole thing ridiculous.
She points out Qing Yang has only 9 votes, which isn't a majority just yet. She dares anyone else to defy her. And old Su, she explains that Qing Yang just needs 1 more vote to secure a simple majority in another memory. Wu Chen said the next move would be the final push to make her mother yield. And the time for it is now. Qingyi rises and asks her mother, are you certain you want to play it this way? Her mother insists that, as her parent, she can still put her in her place. Qing Ying fires back, asking if her mother's actions are truly for the family's benefit, or if they'll all just continue being a complete joke.
She declares that if her plan fails,
the Su family will be torn into 2 opposing groups, causing bitter
infighting and a plunge in their output.
With a deadlocked company, their stock plummet, pushing the company to the brink of bankruptcy. The old matriarch wonders how her family fell so far. In the end, she chooses to abandon it all and walks away. Now, Qing Ying takes her place at the head of the table. Her question is simple. Who is with me and who is against me? Every member raises
their hand in support. The motion passes unanimously.
With that, Su Ying adjourns the meeting,
proclaiming a new era for the
Su family and the Jinfu group.
They had been utterly transformed. Later,
Wu Chen gets an invitation for lunch, asking if the issue concerns Chief Lu, the caller, confirms his need for help, and though he's a bit early for another appointment, Wu Chen agrees to meet them at the West Side Ufu residence. Arriving there, Wu Chen is met with a warm welcome by Chief Lu. The chief points dramatically to his head
and whines about his first love ending.
Apparently, the woman launched a cup at him before promptly kicking him out. Now he wants help
getting back in her and her mom's good graces.
Wu Chen attempts to calm the man down, asking him to take a seat. But Chief Lu cries that he can't wait since everything somehow involves his son taking a seat.
Wu Chan calmly pours tea, asking what
Sort of mess he's made, the chief explains. He simply went to meet her. He details how he showed up with a bouquet, a diamond ring, and a necklace for the proposal. What's more, he even gifted his own son a brand new Ferrari. Wu Chan connects the dots he tried to buy her love with cash, a move that felt like a total insult after all she'd been through just to see him again. Cue the dramatic flashback. Ma Hifang slams the door, vowing to vanish overseas if Lu Guanyin ever dares to find them again. Back in the present, the gears finally start turning. Lu Guanyin finally gets how badly he failed. Wen is asked if he has a solution. The young man confidently says he does. He lays out two very different options. One is slow, the other is a gambit. That could fix everything by nightfall. Naturally, he picks the dramatic choice. The second option it is. So, what's the plan? Wen clarifies it's not about cash. This method will require, brother, Lu to endure some major humiliation. Luanian claims he's not afraid of that. He just needs to know what to do. With that, Wen reveals his chaotic plan. He makes it crystal clear that this demands bold action and zero pride.
From a monitor room, the mastermind watches.
He sees Lu Guan standing in a hallway. With a shrug, he says the show has begun. The older man nervously knocks on the door,
Calling out for his beloved Xiaopeng.
A voice from inside replies, "She's dead. Please go away and never come back."
Desperate, he pleads for her to open up.
Ma Hyung opens the door, telling him to leave. She asks how long he'll keep this up. He offers her a simple John Bing, a memory of when they had nothing but each other. But she shoves him, screaming, "I don't want a single thing from you anymore." Luanian stoops to pick up the fallen food. Just then, their son, Majuni, appears. The boy glares and tells him to get lost. Ma Hyung tells her son to go back inside. But Lugan begs her not to be this way, especially in front of their child. The ridiculous argument drags on for nearly 30 minutes in the hallway. Soon, security arrives from neighbor complaints. He immediately takes all the blame. She coldly denies even knowing the man. She asks the guards to please remove him. Still, Luanian refuses to give up. He insists he's just talking to his wife. He pushes past the guards and shouts, "Stay out of our family drama." The security guard answers with a kick, retorting, "He made the first move on the Shaijint.
Ground, Lu Guanyin dares the guards.
Just go ahead and kill me. My life has no purpose without my family." From a control room, Wu Chan observes the scene. He notes Brother Lu's Oscar-worthy acting. A confident smile appears on his face. As the next act was about to begin, Majuni rushes out, crying, "Stop hurting my father." The boy bravely stands his ground, ready to fight back. Ma Hyang yells for everyone to calm down and stop the scuffle. She runs to Lu Guan,
Who is on the floor, and helps him up. Ween.
then congratulates the whole crew on
Their very convincing performance.
noting it went exactly as he foresaw. One of the actors even offers to join the next production, promising that, with his new experience, he could make it look even more authentic. Seeing the image of the injured Lu Guyan, Wu is satisfied. He decides there's no need to intervene further, as Brother Lu has it handled. With a small smirk, he figures it's time to get down to some real business. Later, in his car, Wu Chen takes a call. Someone is running late for their meeting. He asks the person what they plan to do. On the other end of the phone, the caller says he doesn't wish to quarrel about it, and simply asks Wu Chen to let him know. His arrival time, a little while later. Wen walks into Shua Cafe in the Dongchang district. He enters and apologizes for having kept the other person waiting. Flanked by his men is the double agent, Meng Junha, who asks, "Were you the one?" "I just spoke to," Wu Chen confirms it, and then asks if he really wants his underlings to hear this dirty laundry. Annoyed, Meng Junhao barks back, demanding, "And who are you?" in response. Wu Chen simply pulls out his phone, that since civilized talk is off the table, he'll just show himself out. But that voice on the call, Kim Mengjun,
Hao freezes. He recognizes Leroy, and now
knows the man before him is Wu Chen.
Over the phone, Wu Chen informs Leroy
that a snake is right beside him, and that it's time to handle it. Leroy demands to know who the traitor is, ready to make his move. At that moment, Wu Chen grabs Meng Junhao, revealing the rat is one of his own men.
Codename C082. He then smirks.
"So, can we talk properly now?" The old man has no choice but to agree. Meng Junhao nervously serves some tea.
When his phone suddenly buzzes, it's Brother Lu. And surprise, he's also in.
Trouble. Wu Chen demands the address, intending to go there at once. Still on the call, he knows he'll need Lu Guan's influence and sends him the location of Shua Cafe. Meng Junhao asks if more people are coming, but Wu Chen just says it's a friend and invites him to sit. Then the lesson begins. Meng Junhao became Ding Rong's man 4 years ago, planting his own men as guards around Leroy. And Leroy, the story continues. 6 months ago, Meng Junhao's cover was blown. He was almost eliminated by Lirawai and ended up selling his soul to Ding Rong. Meng Junhao begs him to stop talking and just give the orders, promising complete obedience. Wu Chen predicts Ding Rong will soon send someone to kill him. The man tries to protest, saying that's not his problem. But Wu Chen cuts him off. He calmly tells him to follow Ding Rong's orders. If he wants to live, Meng Junhao asks for a warning so they can stage a fake fight. However, Wu Chen refuses, stating that this is the one and only way for him to survive, not understanding. The old man asks why Wu Chen came to him if he plans to do nothing. With a calm smile, the young man says he's just a bit more entertaining than the others. Wu Chen asks him to deliver something for Ding Rong, but warns him it's not the right time yet. Just then, Lu Guan strolls into the cafe, greeting his brother. He then turns to confront Meng Junhao, asking if the dozens of thugs downstairs were his idea of a party. Meng Junhao quickly denies the charge, and the others confirm it was just a massive misunderstanding. Lu Guan looks at Wu Chen, stating that his problems are now his own, promising to utterly destroy anyone who even thinks of touching him. Wu Chen knows that with Lu Guan's influence and Meng Junhao's terror, his status in Donghai is about to completely change. Suddenly, his phone buzzes with a call from a woman. He answers, asking what's wrong, only to find out she's right outside his house. The young man excuses himself from the two men to handle this, as Meng Junhao smirks about the sweet voice on the other. And while driving, Wu Chen tells her not to cry, learning that her parents plan to ship her abroad to study. She cries that she doesn't want to leave and begs him for help. Wu Chen tells her to use the spare key to get inside the house and wait. But just after she enters, Mu Ruqian arrives with her personal security guards ready to celebrate today's victory with her husband. It's then she realizes she doesn't actually have a key. One of the guards suggests simply breaking the lock, and she gives the order. With a click, the front door swings open. Inside, Hu Xiaowei glances up, startled. At the entrance, Mu Yan locks eyes with the unexpected guest, a silent challenge. Hu Xiaowei is the first to speak. Mu Yan counters coolly, asking how she entered. With a hint of pride, Xiaowei explains, Wu Chen himself gave her a spare key. A slight smile touches Mu Yan's lips. Oh, and what time did you arrive? Sensing the sudden interrogation, Xiaowei says she got there just minutes ago. The new arrival then presses on, asking if Wu Chen mentioned his return time. She's told he should be home any minute. With a disarming smile, Mu Yan Chen invites her to have a seat, acting the part of the perfect hostess. Xiaowei complies, but her eyes track every single move. The other woman makes arrivals analysis. Her mind flashes with images of them together. A moment later, Mu Yan breezes to the kitchen, opening the fridge to offer her a drink. That's when Xiaowei sees it, a fatal blow. Their groceries are mingling, coexisting, a silent declaration of domestic bliss. Mu Yan seizes the opening, her voice sweet. So, what's your relationship with him? No more games, she cuts straight to it. When did you two start dating? The answer comes out, a bit defensively. Just a few days ago, apparently. Mu Yan beams. Then you should call me sis. She proposes they should get along just fine. Meanwhile, our hero is stuck in traffic. Wu Chen grumbles about the delay, completely oblivious, opening his door. He's hit by the delicious smell of food. Since when can Kaisha cook? He freezes, seeing two women at his table. Mu Yan is gently warning her little sister to be careful with the hot food. A perfectly harmonious, terrifying scene. Mu Yan greets him warmly. Welcome home, dear. Wu Chen turns to Xiaowei to start explaining. Youngest, a fact she just loves to rub in. The title instantly gets on her nerves. Her patience starts to wear thin. She corners him, demanding answers. Who is this woman calling him husband? The anxiety in her voice is palpable. Just tell me what's going on. Husia pleads, desperate for the truth. But Mun Chen swoops in, ever the buzzkill, announcing it's time to wash up for dinner. The other woman plays along, though she's fuming. How did she get demoted to little sister again? At the dinner table, the tension is thick. Win tries to break the ice, asking about a meeting. She reports that everything went smoothly. Just as you predicted, she says with a smirk. Clearly, she enjoyed seeing their plan succeed. That's when Hu Xiaowei finally snaps. I've had enough of this little show. Forget the lovey-dovey act for a second. I want the real story, now. He just grins, enjoying her frustration. Why don't you take a guess, he teases. She plays her trump card, I'm not coming home. His comeback. We've got a guest room. Ouch. Undeterred, Hu Xiaowei brings up Miss Su. Mu Yanqian coolly informs her. She's not planning on leaving, either. Fine, she warns. Don't say I didn't tell you. Later, Wu Yin suggests Lu Kaisha take the other room, pointing out they all have an early morning. But Hu Yai isn't having any of it. She plops right onto the bed, defiant. I'm sleeping right here, she declares. Meanwhile, Mu Yan Chen just shrugs to her husband. She claims she really doesn't mind the company. So, Wu Chen makes a wild suggestion. The bed's huge, let's just all pile in.
What could possibly go wrong?
The next morning, it's a three-person tangle. Huawei groans from under the covers. Apparently, all that drama wore her out. She declares she's sleeping in for a bit longer. At the same time, Wen is on the phone, trying to figure out what fresh chaos erupted. That Li Robing's father is en route to the company. He then embraces Mui and Chen and asks about the sudden urgency in the office. Li Rowing pressures him, saying, "You must leave now, or our efforts will be wasted." 40 minutes later, outside the company building, she's fuming over his tardiness. After stepping out of the car, she asks for his help with the zipper on her dress. Hand in hand, they proceed.
Toward the building? Inside, Leroy
Confronts his brother-in-law about the holdup, revealing their father is already inside waiting. Next, Lerowing questions her father's sudden
appearance without any warning, Lee Robbings. Father drills her about the unexpected
visit, but she insists it's not the right moment. He then berates her for neglecting her younger brother, and even forbidding him from staying in. Donghai, cornered, she defends herself, questioning how she could
possibly be at fault. Liru Ai steps in,
urging his father and sister not to clash again. Then Liu Bing concedes that this is truly a bad time for conflict. Moments later, she turns to Wu Chen and formally introduces him as her boyfriend. Wu Chan greets him, calling him uncle, and she quips that
the title might change after they
marry. The father's expression remains deadly serious, making his daughter anxious about what's coming. Her brother senses that this time he
is powerless to help her, clearly angered.
The old man claims the two conspired to fool him. Liru Otai reassures his
father he personally vetted
everything about Wu Chen, from his birth certificate onward. Despite this, his father won't accept it, declaring that the real Wu Chen is gone, and this man before him is a fraud. The man then reveals his trump card, a DNA test using the chopsticks Wu Chen had used during a dinner with her parents. It confirmed his identity, and yet the man scoffs, believing this is just another one of Rubing's pre-planned tricks. Taking his seat, he gestures to Xiao Wu. "Sit," he commands, ready to expose
what he believes are all lies.
Li Robing's father starts the interrogation, asking about his background and ambitions. Wu Chen calmly confirms he's at her company. He explains his degree was in computer science, and his grand plan is to take Rubing's company public. Ambitious, the man notes, realizing the answer matches his own investigation. He switches gears, asking about hobbies. Wu Chen lists off a few impressive skills: calligraphy, music, even kickboxing, and a passion for cars. Then he adds, "Oh, and I also like weapons." Surprised, her father presses the issue. Li Robing immediately starts to panic. Given Wu Chen's normal family background, there's no way he could have any real experience with firearms. But Wu Chen just explains that, like most boys, he got curious about the subject, learning the basics online. He even built a wood model once. She wonders if he's actively trying to get himself into trouble. The father then turns to his son, Leroy, and asks if he's carrying a weapon. After his son says yes, the order is given. Handed over to Xiao Wu. With no choice, Leroy passes the pistol. His brother-in-law takes it. Wu Chen begins to describe the gun with perfect accuracy, detailing the specific model and its make. He then casually ejects the magazine, letting the bullets scatter across the table. Moments later, he confirms his guess was correct. There were exactly 6 projectiles. Faced with this display, Robing's father saw the young man's skill. It was proof of their genuine relationship.
But just when things seemed settled,
a new problem emerged. A man with a special forces past was dating his daughter. This made him question the man's true intentions, and yet the elders still had to praise Xiao Wu's incredible talent. Wien proposed that they have a private conversation. Li Robing demanded answers, but her father ordered her and her brother to leave. She refused to budge. The man then said the request came directly from Xiao Wu. At that, Wen gently
touched her, explaining that some topics
were too difficult to discuss openly. After a tense moment, she finally agreed. As the two of them left, the father asked Rutai if the room was under surveillance. The young man confirmed that it was the father, smirked that Rubing really obeyed him. Wu Chen simply asked for a moment. He grabbed a wine bottle containing a listening device and shattered it. Back in the monitor room, the
screen went completely black. Li
Rubing asked what just happened. Wen then stared directly into another hidden camera. With a gun to his own head, he faced his uncle. Now,
we can talk. The older man was stunned.
He demanded to know his true identity and why he'd targeted his daughter. In the surveillance room, Robing asked, her brother, why the feed from the 2 had suddenly vanished. Li Rotai admitted he didn't know what happened. Inside the room, Wu Chen commented
that they were practically one big family. After all, Rubing and her brother had
Also aimed guns at him before, then he made a bold bet with his uncle that the gun wasn't even loaded. Unfazed, he slams the bullets down. He asks about his true intentions for being in a relationship with his daughter. Wu Chen's response is brutally honest. I like her. We're going to have kids. Is there some kind of problem? The young man's lack of fear is clear. So, the father decides to cut to the chase. But the tables are turned. Wu Chen accuses him of not caring for robbing, but only for the family's business. He then questions the arranged marriage to Ding Ruang, annoyed. The father snaps. Are you lecturing me? In the other room, Li, robbing gets an idea she needs to hear. This conversation. So she pulls her brother into the room next door. She presses her ear against the wall, thinking it's right behind their sofa. A classic trick. But her brother has bad news. During the renovation, he used the best soundproofing money can buy. Back in the tense meeting, Wu Chen states that Ding Rong is headstrong and wild. He asks his uncle if the name Dong Yuan Tao rings a bell. The father wonders why he'd bring up Dong Yuan Tao, a kid who drowned 10 years. Ego? But Wu Chen drops a bombshell. The boy didn't drown. He was murdered. The old man immediately rejects that theory. It's impossible. The Dong family wouldn't dare to make a move against the powerful Ding family. Hearing this, Wu Chen clarifies he's not talking about the Ding family, but about Ding Rong herself, showing a photo. The woman's name is Hishikin. He claims Ding Rong killed Dong Yuan Tao, right in front of her. The woman sticks by his side purely out of terror. Wu Chen reveals he's been in touch with Hishikin, and she's now ready to testify. The father is visibly shaken. The patriarch demands to know his game, but Wu Chen replies that his dear uncle already knows the answer. The man realizes this revelation could ignite a family war, and the Lees would be dragged in. They wouldn't be spared, Wu Chen adds. That the alliance with House Ding is not yet sealed. And besides, the Sun family is their strongest ally. The father concludes the young man
was sent here by a rival family,
intending to completely destroy the alliance between the Li and Ding families. In the next room, a bored Li Robbing grabs a drill, planning to make a hole in the wall to hear the conversation. Her brother warns that the obvious noise and vibrations will get them caught, but she just insists he find a solution. Lira Tai turns, saying he really can't help her this time. Meanwhile, Wen suggests a marriage for Dong Yuanos, cousin and Tai, but the father just scoffs. He thinks the idea is absurd. In response, the young man holds up his phone, stating that if his uncle agrees, he can show results. In just a week, the old man knows. This isn't a joke, but he thinks it's not the right time for a marriage with the Dong family, so he tells Wu Chen to wait, making it clear that now is not the right time. Then he demands to know his true objective. Wu Chen is blunt. I want Ding Rong dead. He had the nerve to try and steal my woman, and from that point on, the whole thing became a matter of life and death. After a moment, he emphasizes that Ding Rong must die. The patriarch then asks if he also has some compromising dirt on the Wei family. Wen confirms and says he's willing to reveal everything as long as his uncle won't bother him in Donghai for 6 months. 2 hours later, a frustrated Li Rubbing prepares to finally start drilling the wall.
tiny shovel. Just then, her
Brother rushes in, announcing their father and brother-in-law had already bolted. The pair quickly scrambled out. She confronts Wu Chen, asking if their little chat was finally done. Wu Chen asks his uncle about his grand plan. The old man simply replies, I'm leaving. Lai Rong demands what exactly. He told her father to make him leave, so easily, she insists that he spill the truth. Lirawai just says goodbye and ditches them, leaving her and her brother-in-law alone. Then Li Rong says if he shows some sincerity, she might
reconsider a few things, but Wu Chen
sighs. I haven't been feeling well. Qing Ying has been exceptionally clingy, and it's completely drained me. She tries, shoving him, calling him shameless, but he's quick, catching her wrist, stopping her cold. He pulls her close, asking, aren't you just as shameless for acting like that? He asks if she's jealous, and her response is instant. She declares,
I already told your own father
everything about Ding Rong in the Wei family. Then Wu Chen recounts the entire twisted tale of Dong Yuan Tao and Hai Shikin. Hearing this, Li Rong realizes that once the Dong family's scandal breaks, even more people will be calling for Ding Rong's head. She congratulates him on his fine work, asking with a provocative tone, shouldn't I give you a reward? Wu Chen asks, are you so sure about doing that? Here we have an audience watching from the building next door. She calls him remarkable for still managing to fall for her. But he shoots back. Hasn't the same happened to you? Lai Rong admits that. He checks all of her boxes for a Henhan's partner. And that is precisely why she fell for him. Still, she makes it clear declaring she's no docile kitten.
She insists. You're the one who will
Yield to me. Wu Chen is impressed by her bold speech, wishing her well. But then, he remembers his reward. He asks for a massage, but she scoffs. Perhaps if you beg for it, she teases. He retorts, I don't beg. I'll just ask someone else. Instantly, her jealousy flares.
Are you talking about Sujin?
But Wu Chen dismisses the idea. I wouldn't want to trouble her. She glares.
Then who exactly are you talking about? Wu Chen explains that this girl,
Though not his yet, is an easy target. It'll be easy to get her to give me a massage once we're a little closer. He then describes this new girl as younger, prettier, and from a richer family. A direct hit, Lee Robbing demands. Is she from Donghai? In reply. Wu Chen just tells her to stop guessing. He warns, I'm putting this on speaker. As the phone rings, a woman's voice answers. He introduces himself smoothly. I'm a grad from Donghai University, and I have some songs to show you. The girl on the line seems to know him. She recognizes him as an upperclassman.
You really have songs? She asks, surprised.
He confirms, but she complains. I've already gotten so many bad songs. Wu Chen coolly suggests, you should try mine. And just like that, the woman agrees. They'll meet at the downtown cafe. I'll be there, he says. Meanwhile, Lee Robbing is racking her brain as she doesn't recall a Song family name. Among Donghai's top 10 millionaires, suddenly a shocking suspicion hits her. She asks Wu Chen, is she from the Wu family? He confirms she is indeed. Wu Ong's daughter. Lee Robbing is stunned.
Aren't you afraid of her mother?
She explains that Wu Yurang is known model, the fearsome black widow of Donghai. Wayne simply replies that he knows. He heard she was called Donghai's greatest beauty, which startles Lee Robbing. She begs him to reconsider his choice. Please, just think about it, she pleads. She offers herself, begging, don't meet with my daughter, so on. He reassures her. It was all just a simple misunderstanding. The meeting, the massage, they were
merely convenient excuses for them. What are you truly planning to do?
He just tells her to calm down. At the cafe, he spots a young woman who then introduces herself. I'm Song Xuan, she offers, her hand for a formal greeting. He introduces himself simply as Wu Chen. She gestures to a seat. Please sit.
Would you like to order a drink?
He politely declines her offer. She asks, is the data on a drive or is it a manuscript? Wu Chen only asks for a pen and some paper, making Swan wonder.
Why? He calmly replies, all right.
The entire song for you right now. Tapping his head, he declares, it's all completely ready. She scoffs at him. Are you kidding me? 10 minutes later, she held the lyrics titled Soul Remedy. She saw he'd even included notes for the mixing instruments. Humming the tune, she had to admit. This song was far better than any others. She'd seen Wuan then asks Miss Song, so do you intend to buy this song? With a small smile, Swan agrees. I do. But then she asks, are you only here to make fun of me? Am I a fool to you? He names his price 100,000. It's non-negotiable, he adds coolly. I have more songs, all for that price. Soen rejects the deal, pushing the notebook right back across the table. Win just pulls it back and says, then, this matter is finished. He explains that. He barely knows her, but he trusts that she would never stoop to stealing a song. Without another word, he rises and declares, I'm heading out. Swan just watches him go, thinking he's a total weirdo. Soon after, Wu Chan rolls up to a recording studio. Getting greeted by staff right at the door, Wu Chan gets straight to business. I need to record, and I'll need the booth for about 3 hours. Then, he coolly adds, Miss Song herself will be arriving shortly, the studio hand. Then asks if he needs a tuner or an engineer. But Wu Chan just waves it off. Don't worry, I can handle it all myself. Once the track is laid down, he holds the finished CD in his hands, thinking, time to drop this masterpiece. Out in the parking lot, a call comes in from Su Qingying, who's wondering why. He ghosted her for 3 hours straight. He just brushes it off, saying he was busy. She reports that Chung Kan nabbed an internship at Jinfu, ditching her study abroad plans.
Apparently, he's even praising her work.
Before ending the call, Su Qingying warns him they shouldn't meet today to avoid making anyone suspicious. He agrees, saying he's got other things to handle anyway. Back on the road, Wu Chan spots a car. Tailing him a little too closely, a glance in the rearview mirror reveals the license plate. It's not from Donghai, and he knows exactly who it is, Ding Wurong's men. He smirks, deciding he has to get this song published first and foremost. Let the goons have their little chase, back home. He settles in front of his laptop, ready. He picks the stage name Chen Wu, knowing Miss Song would get the hidden meaning. With a click, the song is uploaded. Now, all he can do is wait.
For his master plan to unfold, the next
morning, he jumps out of bed, eager to see how Soul Remedy is performing. But then, he looks around his room and notices something was off. The potted plant was turned, and the sofa cushion seemed slightly out of place. His senses tingled. With this, he knew they'd installed a camera, some cheap bug, he decided, to play along. Woo-in phoned Lee, robbing, asking about their scheduled meeting, but she replied that Suan was the priority. He agreed, promising to be at the company. Before 9, while on the road, he felt the high probability of an incident today, though he was calm. Everything remained in his control.
A glance to the side confirmed that.
His hunters had already closed in. Suddenly, his car was cornered by huge trucks. He saw the classic ambush disguised as a traffic jam. He quickly memorized the license, plates, and then reset time. Wu Chen awoke, in his bed once more saying, "Now, it's my move." He then called Liro. Tai, telling him that Ding, Ruang's crew was in Donghai. He described the vehicles they'd use. He requested they be taken alive, as it'd be cleaner on the road. Thinking it tough to act while moving, he decided on a new stage, the Shinmao shopping mall garage. Another call went to Li Ruing, giving his location and the warning that the cars had tailed him there. Now, he just had to wait for Ding Rong's plan to spectacularly fail. One driver saw their target enter the garage and yelled for an immediate pullout. But as they tried to maneuver, their vehicles were slammed by other cars. Furious, one of the drivers yelled at the other, "Do you even know how to drive?" Just then, a group of men appeared. Their leader smirked and answered, "Nope," and then invited them for a chat. Walk. Just then, the drivers, behind the attack on Wu Chen, are finally captured. A man gets word that his underlings were caught by Lirawai and immediately gives the order for Plan B. Zhang Chuan, Ding,
Ruang's most trusted man,
doubles the payment and demands a clean job in the mall's parking lot. As he walks, Wu Chen takes a call, telling them he's at Shinmao. The voice on the other end tells him to find a crowded place, saying they'll be there soon. He agrees,
bids farewell to his dear Miss Lee,
and hangs up, exiting the elevator. He spots a broken camera and knows instantly that the enemy's backup has already arrived. Seconds later, assailants draw blades and move toward him. Wu Chen grabs one by the wrist, slamming a fist into his chin. He then kicks another man away, making some space for himself. The battle rages on inside the elevator. As he takes on the others, he lands a solid punch to another attacker's face. Meanwhile, Li Robbing orders her men to find Wu Chen now. One of them reports he's in the elevator. She demands to know which floor and gets the first basement as the answer. Arriving at the location, one of her men quickly
presses the button to summon the car.
The doors slide open, revealing Wu Chen. Standing over a pile of unconscious bodies, Li Robbing and her team just stare at the scene as she calls out his name. Wu Chen greets her with a casual, "My dear Miss Lee." She doesn't hesitate, running straight to him. He jokes, not afraid of getting your clothes dirty. Li Robbing just replies, "We have to go. Hospital." He just calmly asks, "For what?" She points to his blood-soaked clothes and asks, "Do you even know if you're hurt?" when coolly states that he's completely fine, even teasing her about her touch, leaving her stunned. She can't believe he beat 6 assassins without getting a single scratch. He confirms it, saying, "All I need is a hot bath at home." But first, he grabs a phone from one of the downed men, then snaps a selfie with the pathetic attackers scattered in the background. He sends the picture almost instantly. The phone buzzes. It's Zhang Chuan, looking for his guy. Ween casually answers, "Did you get the little gift I sent?" He tells Zhang Chuan to show the photo to Ding Rong and tell him his final days are coming. He then tosses the phone to one of Li Roing's men, telling them to call an ambulance for the phone's previous owner as she helps him up. Wu Shan declares, "I'm leaving for 2 days to head south," Li Roing asks. "You're going to kill Ding." Wronged, he leans in to kiss her. "Please, don't go," she whispers. He pulls back. "Let's get cleaned up at home," he says. "Then we can talk about this." Elsewhere, in a lavish apartment, a voice repeats in disbelief, "This can't be real." 2 girls are glued to a computer screen, and one of them remarks, "This week's #1 song is incredible." Suan then realizes the track with over 4,000 comments is Soul Remedy by her senior. Wu Chen, her friend, scoffs at the handwritten score, finding the method so ancient. Song decides she has to ask Wu Chen about this herself, and steps onto the balcony to call him. At that exact moment, Li Robbing, Wu Chen's phone suddenly vibrates, and she glares. Is that loser Ding Rong causing trouble again? She snatches the phone, asking coldly, "Are you looking for death?" A surprised Suan stammers, "Is this senior Wu Chen's phone?" She explains, "I just called about the song." But Li Robbing immediately demands answers. "What song? I don't know of any song." The young woman on the other end then hears, "You're speaking to his girlfriend now." Swan tries again. "I called to apologize for a misunderstanding." The word triggers her. The name Song plus an apology. Her inner alarm bells start ringing. Suan also finds it weird that his so-called girlfriend is totally clueless about his music. Hearing the doubt, Lee Robbing snaps back. Wait, are you investigating me right now? And with that, she ends the call. A moment later, she's knocking on his door.
Your junior is on the phone, Wu Chen.
Takes the call, agreeing to meet Miss Song. He hangs up, then explains everything to Lee Robbing. Suan wants to buy my music. Impressed by his talent, she gets closer. But he reminds her, I'm not done bathing. They share a deep kiss, and she asks,
What other hidden talents do you have?
He smirks. You're playing with fire, you know. Suddenly, her own cell phone begins to ring. Lee Robbing grumbles, Who's calling this late? She glances at the screen and her face sours. It's ding wrong, Wu Chen just tells her. Answer it, I'm just grabbing a towel.
On the call, he starts making excuses for himself.
She just scoffs. Your men were pathetic. Now sitting playfully on Wu Chen's lap. She confirms to him it's that idiot calling. He pinches her for the rude attitude. Ouch, she complains. That actually hurt. On the other side, Ding Rong hears everything. The panting, the yelp, the odd words. He then hears Wu Chen ask, Do you know the mistake you just made? He suggests. A punishment is definitely in order for her. He grovels pathetically. Please, don't punish me. She just scoffs. He hung up.
Probably smashed his phone too, but Wuin
Smirks. That's letting him off easy. She then switches topics, asking him, So, what's this punishment you mentioned? With his hands up, he grins. Oh, that part. That, my dear, is entirely up to you. Then, he tells her, I'm meeting Wu Yurong soon, so just play along if you happen to get any calls. Liring looks puzzled. Shouldn't you be meeting with Swan? Wu Chen explains that while he is seeing Suan, the meeting with Wu Yurong is also today a necessary but boring obligation. Just then, Li Ruai bursts in.
Calling for his sister and his esteemed
brother-in-law, he bows to Wu Chen, claiming all the blame for the incident, and vowing it will never happen again. Li Robbing shuts him down immediately, stating that she knows exactly what he's plotting and forbids him from even
trying it. Of course, the brother
argues Wu Chen just got lucky this time, and doubles down. Ding Rong has to die. Exasperated, she asks Wu Yin to talk, some sense into her foolish brother. Wu Yin asks Atai if Lao, the man he spared, is still breathing. After getting a nod, he confirms that he'll be having a nice little chat with him. Leroy Tai demands to know why, and Wu Chen simply lets him tag along, but on one condition, he must promise not to do anything stupid. He agrees, as long as Ding Rong dies. A moment later, Wu Yin tells them both he has some other business to handle. From a nearby car, a shady figure snaps photos of Wu Chen walking down the street. Arriving at a cafe, he
casually greets Miss Song. Swan then asks
if his family just runs a cheap eatery.
Wu Chen confirms his family owns a noodle
shop, but Suan sneers, accusing him of selling a song to ditch his older ex-girlfriend. He just gives her a look, as she offers to help him make bank, whispering, You can't waste that talent. Suen mentions the hit song, Soul Remedy, and points out his star potential, with big companies knocking at his door, but he scoffs at debuting.
Cutting straight to the point about
this little meeting's real purpose. Write another song, she pleads. Wu Chen names his price 10,000. She agrees instantly. He ups the ante 50%. Of all profits, she accepts that too, without even blinking. Song Xuan's only condition is that the song has to be as good as Soul Remedy. He promises a full refund if the song doesn't absolutely explode. The lyrics arrive.
The title she reads is A Song for You.
It clicks. This melody was meant for her. Wu Chen confirms the cash is in, but says he has other business to handle and makes his exit. Safely inside his car, he smirks. The appetizer has just been served. Now, it's time for the main event. He decides to skip all the boring middle parts. His car tears down the road, weaving past traffic like a phantom. A man on the phone reports, We lost him. We couldn't box him in. From the other end, a calm voice asks. Explain what happened, the man says. Wen knew he was being followed, so he's making a beeline straight for the company. She finds his nerve amusing. Bring him to the 16th floor, she commands, shortly after. A guard announces his arrival. A voice from inside calls him in. Wu Chen steps into the room as a man motions for him to come closer. Waiting for him is Wu Yuang, the iron-fisted CEO of Senlan Group, with her entourage. Bodyguard Chu Yan. Just then, Wu Chen sizes up Director Wu, asking, Wasn't that a rather bold way to invite me? She scoffs, not understanding his angle, and states that in reality, he's the one showing his disrespect. Wu Yurong dismisses the bodyguard from the room. As he leaves, Chu Yan warns,
You'd better not try anything funny alone.
She gestures for him to sit. So, what business do you have with my daughter? And does Lee Robbing know about this little chat? Wu Chen smirks, retorting. Why? Cares so much about a child. That isn't even yours. And just like that, he reveals Wu Yurong's forced marriage and how she threatened her husband. With a knife, he keeps going, explaining her clever excuses to dodge her husband in the mornings. He then notes that after Swan's birth, she started to turn on her husband's entire family. Wu Yurong merely comments that Saying is also gone, inviting him. Let's discuss Xuanwan. She warns him that while she didn't give birth to the girl, she still carries her bloodline. She advises him, drop any foolish ideas, but Wu Chen suggests she should look closer, as his real target isn't the daughter, but Wu Yurong herself. She remarks on the ambition of kids these days, asking, just what exactly are you thinking about me? Wu Chen explains the situation is tricky, and he had to resort to this method since she always has her. Guard up, Wu Yurong presses him on this so-called complexity. What are you playing at, and does Lee Robbing know all this? He coolly confirms that she does. Finally, Wu Yurong closes in and demands, now that you have me, explain these complicated thoughts of yours. Wu Chen begins to tell Wu Yurong that Ding Rong is gunning for him. She scoffs, asking what that has to do with her, though her eyes betray she knows the name. Then, with a chilling smile, he declares he'll kill him first. Wu Yurong just wishes him luck. Wu Qin then advises her to pull her investment from the Chuan Hong Fund, at least while she still can, offended. She demands to know what he's implying. What's the link between his drama and her? Business, but he just assures her that the whole thing is coming down. And then the young man states that it will all happen because of him. Are you declaring war on me? She asks. But he clarifies his target is Ding Rui. Long, she's just caught in the crossfire. She denies having any link to the situation. But Wu Chen knows better. He coolly states that she's deeply involved. He explains the fund's largest shareholder is a man named Huan Qiu, who has a direct line to the real boss of Bei Wang Fundings, Ding Wang. Most people call him third master. Ding, he adds, a key figure in the family's second generation. The third son of old Master Ding. Wu Chen finishes by revealing he's also Ding Rong's powerful third uncle. Still, Wu Yong insists she has no ties to this Ding Wafing of Bei Wang Fundings. Wu Chen just sighs. She doesn't get how deep the connection is between Hua Wan Qiu and the Ding family. He emphasizes that any trouble for them means trouble for her. Stunned, she finally questions him. Are you really taking on the Ding family? He muses on how Lee Robbing's boyfriend could possibly face such giants alone. He reveals he's only here to warn her because Robbing looks up to her so much. That name changes things. Wu Yong decides to put his entire story to the test. If he mentioned Lee Robbing, she'll just call Chief Lee. A voice greets her from the other end. It's Wu Yururang who tells her that her boyfriend, Wu Chen, is present. But Lee Robbing coolly confirms she already knew. She then questions if Chief Lee is aware that he's trying to start a war with the entire Ding family. Receiving attendee. Affirmative, Wu Yurang presses on, asking if the Lee family is backing him. However, Lee Robbing's reply is a shock. She reveals he spoke directly with her father, which makes her instantly hang up the phone. She needs to speak with Wu Chen immediately. Turning, she offers him a drink to unwind. After their intense discussion, Wu Chen simply thanks her and takes the wine. Wu Yururang soon returns with 2 full glasses, and the two of them toast for the next 30 minutes. Wu Chen calmly lays out all the risks and rewards of the incident with Ding Rulong and Dong Yuan Tao. With that settled, she gets up and offers to pour him another glass. She then reveals a bottle of Chateau Petrus from the year 2000, but as she turns around, she suddenly loses her balance. Wu Yururang falls backward, bottle still in her grasp. In a flash, Wu Chen moves. He catches her, urging her to be careful. She apologizes, not realizing he was right behind her, while he just asks if she is all right, noting it would have been a real pity if she had dropped it. Wu Yururang apologizes again, blaming the drink for making her a bit hasty. At this, he suggests they call it a night, seeing as she seems unsteady, but she claims she's perfectly fine, adding it was a pleasure to meet him. Yet as she walks away, she falters again, and Wu Chen tells her once more to watch her step. She then complains that her shoes are the problem. Without a moment's hesitation, he acts. He sweeps her up, saying the floor is cold and not exactly clean. Then he carefully, gently placing her on the sofa, Wen smirks. If you still want to drink and chat, we can definitely continue. She then asks, did you carry me here on purpose? Wen's smile widens. I did, in fact. The real question is, he continues, were you only pretending to be drunk? Hoping I'd have to scoop you up? Wu Yurong is completely stunned. He saw right through her little performance. Wu Chen leans closer, his voice a low whisper. You gave me a golden opportunity, but Those tired tactics you use on other men. They're wasted on me. He invites her to talk, claiming, I understand you better than you understand yourself. But she scoffs.
That's some serious overconfidence. Taking a sip, he casually asks about her husband.
Did he really commit suicide?
Or was he driven to complete despair?
Wu Chen adds, the director I know is 42, and he's still a bachelor. He then probes.
On those lonely nights, do you ever resort to
That special item in your bedside drawer? With the wine glass in hand, he notes, it's only natural to have intense desires. At your age, there's no reason at all to feel ashamed, then without warning. He asks, ever think about starting over? To stop living such an exhausting life. He even quotes the lyrics from one of her songs. Wu Chen then simply asks, still want a refill?
Wu Yurong just stares, her mind racing.
Finally, she demands, who in the world are you? She studies him, trying to solve the puzzle.
How could one person be so infuriatingly mysterious?
Wu Chen tells her not to be so surprised. Don't be, he says. I even know about the theft of the Song family's designs and every little plot you've hatched. He adds emphasis. However, I'm not your enemy. Her blood runs cold.
He knows secrets that could lock her away for good.
Now, her choices have narrowed to two. The first option is to kill him. He could disappear, or they could maximize their new relationship,
taking advantage of his unique gifts.
But he was too valuable to eliminate. Leaving one choice, Wu Yurong agrees. They would no longer be enemies. She pressed him, wanting to know his plan. How would he escape the Ding family?
They toasted, and he invited her to join.
But she teased, wouldn't Miss Li get mad? Wu Chen revealed that Su Qingji was also his. And Ruiying was not one. For jealousy, not an ordinary woman. Now, she finally understood what really happened at that Jinfu board meeting. Wu Yurong took a thoughtful sip of wine. With that, her choice was made. She said she'd had enough, inviting him over to her apartment for some tea to sober up. Holding her foot, Wu Chen smirked and agreed. He'd go, since the plan was only to drink tea. At the door, she asked if he was busy that day. He confirmed that his schedule was clear. She then leaned on him to put on her shoes. That's when Wu Yurong kissed him right there. Wu Chen smirked, saying that this kind of initiative should come from the man. He grazed her lip, asking, are you sure? You want to do this at the entrance? He swept her up, but she told him not to rush. So Wu Chen just picked her up completely,
reminding her that he had plenty of time.
With a grin, he tossed her onto the bed. As Wu Chen took his shirt off, she teasingly asked him to please go slow. Wu Yurong challenged, you have to put in effort. But then, morning arrived, so did Sean. He walked in, calling for his mother. In bed, Wu Yurong shot up, shocked too. Realized Xuan was actually home. Panicked, she shoved Wu Chen under the bed. Xuan froze right at her bedroom doorway. He just stared at his mother, all covered up. Wu Yurong nervously called out his name. Sean just replied that he misunderstood. But seeing a man there, she decides to make a quick exit. Juan smirks beside her, as his phone suddenly rings, showing a call. From someone labeled Uncle, Leroying asks if Juan went looking for her, but Wu Yurong claims he simply left his phone behind. Right next to her, she insists he didn't go. After her at all, on the other end. The woman flips the question, asking if she
was the one who sought him out. Wu Yurong denies it.
Yet again. So Leroying asks where they are now. With perfect calm, she reveals they're at her house. Leroying wants to know if the director actually stayed the night with her. Smiling, Wang confirms that the two of them did indeed sleep together in her office. Leroying's voice turns cold. We need to talk. Wang simply invites her to come to Nan. Lounging on the bed, Wang asks, was that
Ruobing on the phone, Wang confirms
that the young woman is on her way, adding, I'm going to take a shower first. Soen asks her mother, won't I disturb the two of you if I stay home? A moment later, she asks, who is that? Uncle, and have you met him before, Wu? Yurong simply replies, it's best for you to use this chance to get to know him, since you'll be interacting more in the future. She then gently strokes her daughter's hair, Soen says goodbye to her mother, telling her, you can introduce me to the uncle another time.
40 minutes later, the doorbell chimes. Wu.
Chan opens the door to greet Rowing. She remarks, you really have a talent. For surprising me, he thanks her for the compliment, then pointedly asks, are you jealous, Lee Robbing Falls? Silent, turning her back to him. Then, she asks, why couldn't you be a bit more considerate of me, Wu Chen? Closes the distance and says, I love you, Lee. Robbing just stares, stunned by those words. Words! She stops him short, asking, have you tried that line on anyone else? He denies it. Rowing beams, turning around to say, I love you too. He hugs her from behind, but she cuts in, asking, so how will you manage the situation with Su Qingying and the others? Wen just waves it off, assuring her, "Don't worry, none of them will dare." To make a scene, Wu Chan then leaves, saying, "I'll head out, you should go. Talk with Director Wu." Just then, Wu Yurwang appears, saying, "My apologies for the delay, Miss Lee, but Lee robbing." Cuts right to it. Let's skip the small
Talk and get straight to the point, but
the director feigns ignorance. "I don't follow you." Unfazed by this, Lee Robbing declares, "Kneel down and apologize." Wu Zhen retorts, "And why should I?"
apologize to you. So Lee Robbing explains.
"If you're going to sleep with my man, you should at least greet me." The director simply scoffs. "That won't be necessary.
We're both just having some casual fun.
There's no real future between us." Leo Robbing fires back. "Oh, you're not the first one, and you won't be the last either." At this, Wu Yurang realizes Liroing is acting differently than when she confronts Su Qingying. There's a strange lack of confidence. She then asks, "Is it true you haven't even moved into Wu Chen's house yet?" She confirms it, adding, "He's quite
Unpredictable." Lee Robbing adds, "He
made Su Qingying his mistress in just a single day." Now Director Wu is in the kite. Very same spot. Wu Yuang sees it now. Liroing sees her as completely disposable. Just another Su Qingying. She realizes that Wu Chen is more obsessed with ruining the Ding family than with actually having her. This can only mean his real prize has always been Lee Robbing. Heart, a patience, she notes. That was never once shown to her. This was blatant, exclusive favoritism for Lee Robbing, but Robbing simply declares, "I'll give Director Wu one more chance." Amused, Wu Yurang just asks, "Why must you be so dramatic about this?" Lee Robbing demands she get on her knees and beg for forgiveness in a shocking move.
Wen Rang closes the distance and kisses her. Calmly, she says she understands.
Exactly how she feels. This kiss, she explains, is payback for the favor involving Wu Chen. She then asks, "Was that apology good enough for you?" With a sly smile, she wishes Lee Robbing had been there last night, so all three of them could have had fun together. The girl in glasses sputters, asking what kind of nonsense this is. The director then asks if her sincerity came through, or if she needs to apologize again. Lee Robbing demands a little respect. Finally, she realizes there's no way to reason with someone this unhinged. She storms off, leaving Wu Yurong alone. In the quiet, Wu Yurong finally admits it. She has fallen completely for Wu Chen. Fuming in her car, Lee Robbing calls him, "Why do I only attract crazy women?" On the other end, a confused Wu Chen just asks what happened this time. She claims today's incident was even more absurd than such Qingying's, but decides it's too insane to explain. Wu Chen realizes Wu Yurong played the situation perfectly, never letting Lee Robbing gain any advantage. He figures the director is probably safe now. After all, Lee Robbing is relentless and doesn't care about causing a scene. Meanwhile, Wu Yurong tells Wu Chen that he really needs to trust her to handle her own battles. Just then, his phone buzzes with a call from Liu Ai, announces that a serious incident has occurred. In a hospital room, Liu Tai confronts the bandaged Ding Ruilong for his reckless moves on his turf. He yells, his rage building, accusing him of plotting against his very own brother-in-law. Seized by fury, he grabs the man's collar, demanding to know who else is in Donghai and what they have planned. The injured man offers only silence, making Liu Tai scream for him to talk. He then points a gun at Ding Rong's head, threatening to end him if he stays silent. One of his lackeys advises him to calm down, reminding him Brother Chen is on his way. Liu Tai agrees that it's smart and casually lights a cigarette. He then tells his men to step outside for a smoke, so they don't frighten the patient yet. When they look back, they discover the bed is empty. Wang Zhongyuan gets furious when he finds the room deserted. A nervous nurse informs him that the patient has escaped. One of his men gestures to the open window. He looks over, wondering how the man found the will to climb down a steel pipe and flee. On the phone with Wu Chen, he explains that their target has vanished, but swears they'll find him. This only makes his brother-in-law suspicious. Wu Chen figures that before meeting old Dao, the only one with the motive to pressure the fugitive was Liu Tai.
Wang Zhangyuan tries to explain what
really happened. However, Wu Chen cuts him off, stating that he already has it all figured out and will find the man himself. After the call, Wang Zhangyuan is confused why his brother-in-law refused his help with the search. Wu Chen simply puts on a cap, recalling a key detail from the 1,000-year samsara. There is only one, where old Dao might have gone. He then slips into his car, certain that his prey has no escape. Their reunion was fast approaching. A street sign points to 2nd Shuankashinmen Street, deep in the Western District. Wu Chen pulls up to the location and parks right out front. He walks to a door plastered with Old flyers, one of Ding Rong's hideouts, cigarette butts littered the ground. Proving the safe house had never actually been used, he finds the key in the outdoor electrical box. He then steps inside the apartment, knowing the fugitive would need fresh clothes and couldn't
Possibly beat him there. The place was fully
furnished, almost giving off a cozy vibe. Wu Chen notices the lack of dust and smirks. Someone was cleaning regularly. They really thought of everything to make it seem like the house was actually lived in while looking around. He spots something under a cushion. Of course, a briefcase locked with a simple code. The password was a joke. The briefcase clicked open. Inside, he found
stacks of cash, documents, and a phone.
in a hidden section, he found a loaded pistol, complete with extra bullets, with this little welcome package laid out. He knew old Dao would show up. He then makes a call, Wu Chen tells the man to call an ambulance to second.
Shinmin Street in the Western District?
Just then, the apartment door creaks open. A man in a mask and cap enters, sighing that he's finally safe. But his eyes lock onto the gun sitting on the table. He realizes he's not alone and lunges forward with a knife. Wu Chen easily blocks him, asking why he's trying so hard. The man shoves the blade
With all his might, but it was useless.
He was completely overpowered. The assailant then recognizes him. It was Wu Chen model. He stood no chance of winning, especially in his wounded state. One calmly told him, "If I wanted you dead, I'd have finished it in the elevator." He then revealed that an ambulance was already on its way, sensing no true killing intent. The man saw a window to escape, but Wan simply sat down. "So," he asked. Mailing Shan still refuses to talk. He then exposed his secret. At 21, he faked his death, tricked the police, and changed his identity 4 times, becoming Liu Yundao. Maling Shan froze. His real name was legally a ghost. How could this man know the truth? That meant he also knew about his parents and his 2 dear sisters. His grip on the knife tightened. He would fight like a cornered animal. For his family? Wu Chan nodded. Protecting your family. That's what a real man does. Then he slid a gun over the table. "I'll give old Dao a fair chance." Maling Shan grabbed the pistol, aiming it square at him. Wu Chen urged him on. "Go ahead, shoot." Wen continued. "Of course, the gun might be empty. This could all be a simple test." With a calm smirk, Wu Chen asked, "Is old Dao willing to gamble?" Maling Shan knew that a bet was the only move he had left. He understood that raising a weapon to Wu Chen was the same as courting death itself. Looking surprisingly calm, the young man asked if he truly thought that he wouldn't dare kill him. Wen stated this wasn't a bet and gave his word that no one else had been told what he knew, but the man brushed it off, saying it was a useless diversion, while the other insisted he only came to talk. Maling Shan then
Questioned what there was to discuss.
declaring his lips are sealed when it comes to the Ding family, but the kid drops a bombshell, revealing he knows all about the Wang Rita hit that Ding Rong personally ordered. Then, with a sly little grin, he twists the knife, adding Angun's murder to the list. The name jogs a memory. Angun, a top dog in the Golden Flower Group. He recalls the leader's nephew, who died mysteriously 5 years back. A case that went cold, with no killer ever found. Wu Chen admits it's one of his life's greatest failures. And conveniently for his enemy, Ding Ruong's second biggest secret. But Maling Shan isn't buying it, accusing him of peddling lies to turn him against the Ding family. With that, he snatches his pistol, aiming it right at Wu Chen. Done with all the talking, the cold barrel of the gun is pressed firmly against the young man's skull. Maling Shan mockingly asks for any last words, pulling out a cloth.
A heartbeat later, he pulls the
trigger, but the shot is muffled by the fabric. He then bids him adieu. Wu Chen doesn't even flinch, that same infuriating smile plastered on his face. Maling Shan demands to know why there's no fear with a gun to his head. The kid just says he knew all along
that he wouldn't pull the trigger.
With that, the man finally removes his mask and lowers his weapon. Wu Chen says since he bet his life, he's earned his trust and a look at the Chen. Proof? The man is stunned to hear that evidence actually exists. He's
Told to take a seat, phone in hand.
Wu Chen explains that sometimes you
Have to spin a lie to find the truth.
The man just stares, completely lost. Finally, Wu Chen tells him to make the call. Zhang Chuan and weaves a desperate tale. He admits to using Liu Bing as a hostage, a fact he readily confirms. He reports she wasn't gravely harmed, but the man on the other end of the line absolutely erupts. The voice seethes. "You actually touched Liu Bing?" Maling Shan frantically defends himself, pleading, "I did it to save my own neck." He then confesses to Master Zhang that he's been cleaning the Ding family's mess, hiding the truth from the very start about how they eliminated Angun. On the other line, Jiang Chuan freezes. Horrified, this buried secret is now exposed. Just then, Wen snatches the Pai,
Phone right out of his hand and
immediately begins to speak directly with Jiang Chuan. Stunned, Zhongguan demands why he is with Lai. But Wu Chen fires back, asking if Ding Rong is in South Guang City, visiting the old. Master Ding, over the phone, Zheng Chuan, slips, revealing the young master returned. Home on urgent business, and because of that, ended up injuring Liu Bing. In that moment, he sees it all. The alliance between the great families could shatter because of this, and his
entire world might just crumble. Wu.
Chen simply wishes him good luck and casually ends the call. He then explains
That Jiang Chuan won't warn the Dings.
Because men who are about to be sacrificed rarely stay loyal. He then adds that Jiang Guan won't want to die, not when he has a family and money overseas. With that, he orders Lai to ready his men to intercept Jiang Chuan in south. Guang, knowing he'll go there first. Before he flees, Ma Lingshan agrees, deciding it's no longer worth it to work for the treacherous Ding family. Plus, he owes Wu Chen a massive favor. But suddenly, a sound echoes from outside, and wonders what's going on as it seems a crowd has gathered outside. His gaze narrows on Wen, suspicious. Is this just another elaborate trick? A man swings the door open, his jaw dropping.
When he comes face to face with Mr. Wu,
Wen tells the men to wait downstairs, trying not to disturb the neighbors. He then turns, inviting old Dao to continue their little chat. Elsewhere, Ma Lingshan barks orders for reinforcements to capture Jiang Chuan. The mission is to bring him in now. The man on the line hesitates, but Ma Lingshan
snaps at him to stop asking questions. Wu Chen reveals he knows everything. Their interest in Jiang Guan is simple.
They want to know if Ding Ruilong killed Angun.
He recalls a story from 5 years ago, when Angun brought his crew into the country.
For a little negotiation, the deal was to smuggle jade with Ding Ruilong,
a fast track into the Jinhua Corporation.
But the ambitious proposal was rejected. Humiliated by the refusal, Angun
resorted to pathetic threats,
trying to force cooperation. That very night, Angun just vanished. Malingen stays dead silent, absorbing the details of the story. Wu Chen smiles, saying a great regret of his has been settled. And now, he offers another valuable gift. Moments later, he's on the phone.
Old Dao is under his control, he announces,
demanding a $100 million ransom.
A man with gray hair asks who is speaking.
He introduces himself with a smirk. The name's Wu Chen. Has it reached your ears? Wu confirms that old Dao failed his task, but assures them the old man is still alive. He then justifies the huge ransom. But the man on the other end makes a counteroffer of $50 million. The exchange is to happen at the border. The boss's tone, asking if he'd also want to know who killed Angun. The man demands he spill everything now, about what truly went down. Then Wu drops a bombshell about Kanhan and
old Dao's mission to kill Wang Rida.
All on Ding Ruilong's orders. He asks how they could possibly uncover the truth on Angun, but not this new kill order. For Wang Rida, Wu Chen states he and Ding Ruilong are bitter rivals, and the Wang family will discover everything. This makes the man on the other end sweat. Suddenly, Malingan realizes just how deep this hole goes. He starts wondering about the gift Wu had mentioned before. Finally, he asks the man to relax, pointing out that he wouldn't bring up Angun if it were some kind of threat. The man asks if Wu Chen wants backup against the Dings. Wen immediately shuts down any alliance, just laying out the cold, hard facts, and the storm coming from Wang and Li. Then, he finally reveals his true ace. He lays out a very specific deal for Ma Lingshan. He wants old Dao working. For him, this ensures Wang Rua's death can't be traced back to Jinhua. Maling Shan weighs this tempting proposal. After a tense pause, the man on the phone finally agrees, but only if everything he said is absolutely true. Ma Lingshan then realizes the general had been eavesdropping on the entire call. He calmly confirms that he heard it all. The general immediately questions him, asking him how he could possibly fail. Ma Lingshan explains that not even a team of 6 men could stop Wu Chen. When asked if he's being threatened, he just replies that he's looking to change his life because he is tired. So tired. Wu Chen congratulates him on achieving his so-called freedom. He starts to speak, but the other man
cuts him off with a direct order.
Capture Jiang Chuan discreetly, he commands, noting an ambulance is already en route. They part ways, vowing to speak again. Once Mal Shan has fully recovered, Wu Chan then heads home, declaring he desperately needs a nap soon after. He's passed out cold in his bed, but then a subtle movement appears under the sheets, and Laying emerges from the foot of the bed.
What are you doing here? He demands.
She smiles sweetly. I'm here to reward you. Wen leans in close, ready to kiss her. Then give me my reward, he whispers. He gently lays her back onto the bed and begins to unbutton her shirt, Li Robbing. Suddenly comments that they have only known each other for about 8 or 9 days. In response, he scoffs. You think that means I don't know everything. About you, she challenges him to prove it, asking for a single example of his claims. Wen states plainly that he knows she's only there to deceive him, and because of that, he says, we can't do anything tonight. Don't say that, she insists, her voice soft. It's not a deception. Lee Robing sits up, a wry smile on her face. I know, my dear mister. Wu looks a little pathetic right now. Before he can react, she kisses him, so he won't feel sad, but Wen warns her that Tai is scheduled to arrive that night. He's not angry she dismissed old Dao. She replies he shouldn't pamper the man.
Those who err must learn to apologize.
Just then, the doorbell chimes. Lee. Robing explains it must be the guards, returning with the groceries she ordered.
Well, that's all for now, she says,
grabbing a bag and leaving the room. A moment later, she pops her head back in. Mister. Wu? Where's the kitchen? He points. Wait, are you planning to cook dinner? Of course, she says with a confident grin, eager to show off the skills she learned during her time abroad. Wu Chen teases that he already knew she cooked. She retorts that some talents are never forgotten. Then Lee Robing lifts a
fish, claiming she's the better chef.
She even challenges if he can cook. But just then, the fish makes a dash. For freedom, it hits the floor with a plate, which shatters into tiny bits. She scrambles to catch the creature, trying to play off the clumsy escape. Wen simply tells her to go change, promising he will take care of the mess. Later in the shower, she groans. She only wanted to cook for them all, to eat together when Tai finally arrived. She also frets that Wu Chen might dislike her brother after the old Dao incident. In the end, she blames the slippery fish. With no time to spare, she has an idea. She decides she'll call a private chef to handle dinner. But suddenly she pauses, hearing a strange noise coming from the kitchen. When she gets back, Lee Robing finds a magnificent feast already on the table. Wu-en approaches, wearing an apron, and asks her what she's staring at. She is completely shocked he knows how to cook, and wonders what other talents he's been hiding. She quickly snaps a picture of him while he puts on the final touches. Lei Roing asks if he ever cooked for Suching Ying before. Wen reveals she's the first woman he's ever cooked a meal for, not counting for himself. Hearing this, Lei Roing joyfully hugs him and plants a kiss on his cheek. She reminds him that they're short on time, because Tai will be there any second, and there's still more food to make. Right on cue, Li Rutai appears, shouting for his brother-in-law. Li Ruing tells her brother to sit, proudly explaining their brother-in-law made the whole meal. Intrigued, he takes a bite and is completely blown away. He's never had food this good. But she demands a real apology. No theatrics or empty phrases. Wu Chen then offers some to Robing. She tries it, shocked by the taste. It's like a Michelin chef cooked it. He tells Li Rutai to have more. He says they can return any time. They can come back whenever they wish, and forget the whole incident with old Dao. That night, Li Roing tells her husband it's late. They should probably get some rest. He teases her about her earlier doubts. She puts a finger to his lips. Shh, she says, silencing him. Li Robing whispers, there are always ways, even at tricky times.
Wu-en finds her brushing her teeth.
Again and again, he points out just how many times she's done it. He gets closer, a sly grin on his face. Isn't she worried about overdoing it? She spits, calling him a shameless scoundrel, then watches him leave. He offers her the breakfast he made. She turns it down, saying she has a big meeting at the company. She asks if his plans involve meeting Wu Yurong, but he says no. Suddenly, Li Robing leans in close and plants a kiss on his cheek. As she leaves, she tells him to behave, then heads off to work at the office. An employee brings some files to Li Roing. A moment later, a call. It's Su Qingying asking if she knows where Wu Chen is. Su Qingying says he's not in Dongkai. He was super secretive about his trip. Li Robing tells her to relax. She'll find out and hangs up. Then she calls her dear Mr. Wu and demands, where are you? What's this all about? Hearing a strange woman's voice, her suspicion grows.
Who's with you? Are you worried?
That Su Qianjing will find out.
Finally, she hangs up, telling him,
deal with your own mess. I'm done bothering you. Meanwhile, in a nightclub, a thug mocks the sheer number of calls he got in such a short time. Wu Chen sits unfazed before them, his phone resting casually on the table. The fifth elder, Si-tu Song, tells him to stop wasting their time, but the woman beside him notes he's just toying with them both. Just then, the phone rings again, and Wu Chen answers it. The woman smirks, saying she was right, which enrages Si-tu Song for being played. For a fool, he leaps up, drawing a gun, and screams at Wu Chen, smash your phone if you want to talk, but in a flash. The gun that was in Si-tu Song's hand is now aimed right at his own head by Wu Chen. The elder and his companion are stunned by what they just witnessed. He stammers, calling him a ghost. Si-tu Song's men instantly storm the room, surrounding Wu Chen with weapons drawn. Now calmer. Situ-song warns that his phone is ringing again. Wu Chen answers. The call, holding the gun steady as a woman gripes about his delay. He simply replies, I'm handling business. She asks why he sounds so rushed and confesses that she missed him terribly. Even dreaming about him last night. She invites him to lunch, then asks,
Wait, are you with that Lee Robing?
Wu Chen lies smoothly, claiming he's out of town and back in 2 days, promising a call tonight before he hangs up. The moment the call ends, one of the goons lunges at him from behind, brandishing a deadly knife. He whips around, blocking the attack
With his arm, and fires a shot instantly.
The assailant drops. He then aims the gun directly at Siru Song, the fifth elder. Hits his knees, offering 20 saisei million. A moment later, he raises the offer to 50 million, begging for his life. Sweating, Siru Song ups the bid to 200 million, vowing to cover any price. Wu Chen simply states,
I just hate being cursed at. Let's chat.
alone. Siru Song quickly orders his men to leave. He helps the elder up, warning him there's still one bullet in the chamber. He then hands back the gun, and Siru Song submissively agrees to do whatever is asked. Win reveals that he knows Siru Song arranged a woman for Dingri Long and is now repeating the exact same play. Finally, he asks, so what exactly are you scheming this time? Wu then begins listing the achievements of the fifth elder, Mao, mentioning his numerous businesses worth over 30 billion. Siru Song found this speech bizarre. The young man had investigated his past so thoroughly, yet he didn't feel like an assassin sent from Dingrui Long. He tells the elder not to worry, reminding him that the Gu family from Modu forced him to betray Dingri Long. When explains that it would be weird not to be close to the Gu family since he works in Modu. The elder is completely baffled by his actions and asks what he really wants. Win says he did an outstanding job dealing with Dingri Long. Next, he asks if the elder holds any bitterness towards him, and the answer is a resounding yes. Hearing this, Siru Song visibly relaxes, invites him to sit, and says, we are allies. We can speak calmly. After sitting, Wu Chen comments,
I've heard that Chief Mao has been
caring for Huqing, her name alone, jolts the elder. His mind flashed back to their first meeting, and the raw desire to possess her. But her powerful aura was a clear warning. This woman was incredibly dangerous. So naturally, he decided to investigate her, watching from the shadows. He saw the profound solitude in her eyes was real, compelling him to intervene. But he knew the risks he'd face by making such a move. Curbing his impulses, he kept her under watch, partly to stop other rivals from getting close and partly to deal with Ding Ruilong. Sirong finally sees that Wu Chen's grudge against Ding was tied to Lisa Ching. He figures that only with a backer like him would she dare to defy Ding Ruilong. The elder offers to set everything up, ensuring his friend would be well taken care of. Wu Chen cuts him off. Actually, I plan to take both of them to Donghai. Ruong laughs, asking, so Modu isn't good enough anymore. He then admits to having met Hai Shiqing. Wu Chen explains he came to him because he's her new tutor, stressing that Ding Ruilong must not find out. Baffled, the elder questions him about this whole tutor business and this trip to Donghai. He is confused, since Donghai is Leroy Tai's turf. He asks, so what do I even call you? The youth replies coolly, my name is Wu Chen. And just then, Siru Song's phone suddenly starts to ring. He asks Mr. Wu to excuse the interruption. Receiving a nod, taking the call, he asks Brother Gu, tell me, do you happen to know a Wu Chen from Donghai? He adds, the kid is right here, in my office. On the other end, just Liu Tai's friend, Guru Ibo, is left utterly speechless by the question. Guru Bo says, hold on, I need to confirm something. He tells them to wait, announcing, I'll be right there. Wen then asks, is Guru
Bo on his way? Sairong scoffs. Why?
Did we take this ridiculously long detour? If you two were buddies all along, he explains coolly, we're not acquainted. We just know of each other's existence. He then suggests, now, let's get back to talking about hiking, but Swang guarantees you won't be hearing a thing about Hixing for the next few days. Next, Wien calls Li Rai and remarks,
a little bird told me your famous
brother-in-law was in Modu. He asks, has Guru Rebo reached out to you? The young man pleads, go easy on brother. Gu, please, we're like brothers. He insists, I'll handle him. Wen just chuckles, assuring him it's all just a misunderstanding. I'm only here to talk business, he announces. He's already here, so we'll chat. Later, right then, Guru Rebo arrives. Flanked by his men, he stares daggers at Siru Song. Over the phone, Liu Tai begs, brother Gu, be polite, he stresses. Wu Chen is your brother-in-law, Gur. Ruibo has no idea what he's talking about. Tai insists, just be nice and don't you dare provoke him from his tone. He realizes Tai is completely and utterly terrified of his brother-in-law. Faced with this, Gurubo starts to wonder who in the world this Wu Chen really is. Li Wai warns him, never, ever go against my brother-in-law. His voice is grave.
Don't you dare blame me for not warning you.
What is going on? Gurubo demands. His gaze locked on Wu Chen. Tai then explains that it was only with his guidance that he handled the Wei family's affairs so flawlessly. A single word of advice. He mentions his brother-in-law's past is a complete mystery, one the powerful Li family couldn't crack. But a pact made with his father forces him to obey. Meanwhile, Gerbo greets Ween with a surprisingly warm smile, saying, Tai has mentioned you often. I should have known about your arrival. Sirong watches this unfold, finding the friendly welcome totally out of character. Gurubo had never acted this way, not even with his own father. Gurubo then snaps at old Mao, declaring, Wo Chen is our most honored guest. Old Mao quickly agrees it was all a simple misunderstanding, immediately. He invites Mr. Wu to a dinner party. They shake hands, with Wu Chan agreeing to the arrangements later on. Gurubo asks if he knows his big brother. He recalls how Tai described his brother-in-law as something possibly not even human, a man who could even see the future. Ween then asks,
Would you like to know the secret?
To defeating your dear brother stunned. Guibo questions, what exactly are you suggesting, Mr. Wu? Both are the third generation of the Gu family. Their main business rivals, hailed as the legendary twin stars. He thinks that this is all information anyone could find with a little digging, and wonders if Tai wasn't just exaggerating. But Wuin simply says, it's not about opportunity, but whether or not you have the guts to actually take it. Gurubo finds those words insulting, considering the close bond he shares with his brother. Wen takes a calm sip of his drink. This isn't about family, he explains. This is purely business, a chance for you to gain more wealth and success.
Gurubo asks what he has to do.
And if this is related to that, guts, he mentioned. Just then, Wu Chen names the target Ding Ru Long. Gurubo's composure completely shatters. He instantly understands the real scheme. The goal is to make him the killer. A borrowed knife at pitting the Gu and Ding families against each other. Meanwhile, the Ding family would have no reason to target him. He could then enjoy his sweet time with Liu Bing. As for the Gu family, on the other hand, they might just wipe themselves out. He recalled Wu Chen's previous words. This business needed some clarification. So, Gerbo decided to ask him directly, is this deal about taking over the Ding family's entire business? He admits he's been fighting them for years, but is at a major loss. Wu Chen knows his old plan failed. That's why his previous method flopped. He guarantees this new proposal will crush his brother's lead in just 1 year. With that promise, the young man decides he's all in. He's willing to risk it all for this. Guruibo declares with new conviction, all right, I'll take this deal. With you, Mr. Wu? Wu Chen smirks. He pulls out his phone to make a call. He tells the woman on the other end to get to Modu immediately. The woman on the line agrees at once. She'll arrive soon, but Gurubo knows that voice doesn't belong to Tai's sisters. A chance to beat. His brother means he'll follow Wu Chen. Wu Chen is his new boss. Soon, an employee escorts a woman inside, announcing, Mr. Wu is waiting for you. As Wu Yuruwang enters the room, Guruibo knows her. It's Miss Wu. He recalls the sweet words Wu Chen used with her just moments ago.
Wu Yuruwang confidently walks over to
the sofa where Wu Chen is waiting. She closes the distance, her voice a whisper. Let's wrap this up quickly, please. My patience is wearing thin. Wu Chen then helps her to her seat, casually remarking about Sister Rang's latest series of clumsy moves. She then greets Boss Gu, who promptly returns the pleasantry. His attention then shifts back to the unfolding drama. Eager to see what kind of deal is on the table, Wu Chen declares that with allies gathered, there's no need for games. He gets right to it. He lays out the strategy for Wu Yurong to pull all her capital from any ventures tied to the Ding family. An hour or so passes. Siruwang notes the sheer precision of the plan, saying he'll summon the necessary files. He and Guruibo then step outside for a quick smoke. Meanwhile, Wu Yurong marvels at how Wu Chen produced a perfect partner for her, completely out of the blue. Got a problem with it? He asks simply. Far from it. She wonders how to possibly repay him, but he just brushes it off as all part of the master plan. She was just lucky to cross his path. At that, Wu Yurong rises, telling him to cut the act. In the next moment, she's on his lap, demanding he admit this was all for her. She leans in close, whispering if he plans on revealing everything to Guruibo. Wuan coolly replies that there's no need to announce it, but then If the man finds out on his own, so be it. She pushes, asking if he's actually afraid a leak would damage his and Lee's reputation. Outside, Guru Bo freezes. His eyes are glued to his phone. He double-checks, muttering that his eyes aren't deceiving him. She's really with Wu Chen. His mind starts racing. Is this even the same Wu? Yurong he once knew a memory surfaces. A fancy ball where everyone swarmed his father, all desperate for his approval. Her? Even his own uncle had vowed he would divorce his wife on the spot, just for a chance. He wondered how a woman like that ended up with Wu Chen, a kid of only 22, concluding anyone who could handle her must be a monster. Faced with this, Guru Bo finally understood Tai's point and faced the guests, suggesting they finally order, as the drama had been quite the meal. Just then, Wu Chen's phone buzzed, and he answered, asking what was up. Hearing the voice, Guru Bo realized it was Tai's sister, Wu Chen's actual girlfriend. He wondered why on earth Wu Chen would put this call on speaker. Lee Robbing asked if he was still occupied, and why he was being secretive in Modu. He simply replied that he was busy, and they would talk later. Wu Yurong came near Wu Chen and asked, "Is that Miss Lee?" Guru Bo's soul left his body. This was basically a declaration of war on the official girlfriend over the phone. Leroing asked if Wu Yurong was in Modu. With him, he casually confirmed it, saying it was for serious business and even offered to let them speak directly. Wrong. Guru Bo felt his heart stop. This chaos was worse than if he himself had been caught in the act. But Leroing simply told herself she would forgive him. Since it was for work, she asked him to take care of things and that she would wait for him. Wu Chen then told Guru Bo to order the dishes so they could finally talk and eat. He just nodded meekly. Guru Bo wondered how Leroing managed to endure that and had to admit that a man who could juggle both of these women at once was truly on another level. He then handed a Chinese file to Wu Chen with all the intel he had collected on Ding Lulong from his long investigation. Wu Chen explained. Their plan was a classic corporate raid. Use agents to acquire Ding family shares, then quietly court the minority holders. They agreed that once they held enough, a controlling percentage was in reach. They would seize complete control. Guru Bo smirked with his family's might. Wu Yurong's powerful network, and the inside track from Wu Chen. Defeat was simply not an option. Wu Chen then spoke, with victory so close. It's about time we talk distribution. The real negotiation was about to begin. Guru Bo's eyes narrowed, just as he thought. His suspicions had been right all along. He proposed 5% of profits for costs, giving Wu Chen and Wu Yurong 60%. Wu Yurong was floored. She only expected 40. Wu Chen did the quick mental math. It was a strategic move, leaving Guru Bo with a mere 35%. But he called it the start of a valuable friendship with a man like Wu Chen. Wu Chen praised his sharp thinking. To a prosperous partnership, he toasted. Later, Wu Yurong leaned in close to Wu Chen. We've discussed business for far too long, she smirked. Now lie back and let me take the lead. She sat upon the bed, purring that she'd definitely need another bath after this. His phone rang. It was Lee Robbing. Are you finally done? He confirmed his work was over for now. Why are you still awake? He asked gently. She admitted she was waiting for him to call. I'm working overtime at the company, she explained. Not coming home tonight. She then pressed him for details. What exactly are you doing in Modu? So he explained the whole scheme with his partners. After a beat of silence, Leroing scoffed. Her voice was dripping with sarcasm. So she earned billions just by sleeping. With you, how convenient for her. Suddenly, Wu Yurong snatched the phone. Listen here, Leroing teased. Jealousy doesn't suit you. She decided she wouldn't let Wu Yurong get away with her little games. I'm not jealous, she snapped, warning him. Just you wait for the treatment you'll get. When you're back in Donghai, he smirked. Will this treatment be like last time? Win just grinned. I'm looking forward to it. Wu Yurong simply watched his reaction. Lirong called him completely shameless. Then, she mentioned that Ding Long had called. He's apparently going to Donghai to apologize in person. He asked about the time. Hearing there was no set time yet, he told her he'd be back in 2 days. 2 days. Wu Yurong processed this new fact. Ding Ruilong was coming to Donghai. She then asked Wu Chen about his plans. He replied, something interesting. Intrigued, Wu Yurong stepped closer. Is Lirong's treatment interesting too? He confirmed it absolutely would be. She got even closer, her voice a whisper. In that case, I want some of that interesting. He swept her up, giving her a warning. You might need some mental preparation. The next morning, our hero woke up. He found a note on the pillow beside him. The message said she had already left. She was back in Donghai, with a reminder. Not to forget her treatment. He grabbed his phone. He figured it was a good time to meet someone. It was time to finally see Hashuching. They exchanged a few quick messages. The meeting spot, her house in Dongpu. He soon arrived near New Century Park. A young girl suddenly ran right past him. He recognized her at once as his Xingxing. So, he called out her name. The girl stopped. She turned around, asking who he was. "Do I know you?" Just then, Shuqing's voice appeared. She was running down the street, calling for Xingxing. She begged her not to run off again. The little girl ducked right behind Wu Chen. She put a finger to her lips, gesturing for silence. She drops to her knees, pleading for him to do her just one favor. He steps closer, asking if he'd seen her 14-year-old daughter.
The one who just bolted. Wu Chen simply clears his
throat, taking a dramatic pause. Soon after, his Shuqing spots her hiding daughter and yanks her out by the collar, asking if this is some kind of game. To her, with a firm hand on the girl's shoulder, she thanks Wu Chen for his help. He just shrugs, saying it was nothing, then asks if their little argument happened to be because of a drawing. His Shuqing looks stunned,
surprised, and wonders how he could possibly know
about their fight, let alone the drawing. That's when Wu Chen reveals he is Mr. Xing Chen, the very person who has been receiving Xingxing's sketches. He then properly introduces himself as Wu Chen, and the two formally shake hands. She introduces her daughter, telling her to greet her teacher, but the girl realizes her escape route has been cut off. The mother
apologizes for her daughter's awful attitude and invites Wu Chen upstairs to talk. Once
inside, she invites him to stay for lunch, and he accepts. His Shuqing asks him to sit or to look at the gallery, explaining that she will be in the kitchen. Wu Chen then turns his attention to the art, but in that moment, Xing suddenly collapses on the floor. She whimpers, You hit me." She asks if the NC teacher finds this funny, but he just watches her performance in silence. Time for Act 2 of her little play. Leaning weakly against the door, she begs the teacher, "Please don't do this." A moment later, she asks if he isn't even a little scared. Not yet. He questions why on earth he should be, afraid when she's the one acting so bizarrely. The girl then threatens to call for her mother. Wu Chen calmly asks if she honestly thinks her mom would believe that a man she just met would do anything to trap him. She reminds him that not a single boy in her class isn't crushing on her. Then she boasts she can read exactly what everyone is thinking, and she doubts he's an exception. The young woman stands and declares that no mother would ever betray her own daughter, demanding he leave and just give up being her teacher. But Wu Chen replies that he is not leaving because he never caves to empty threats. She calls for her mother, who answers from another room. Wu Chen then reveals that his phone had been recording everything. The girl sees the cold, hard truth. The recording is still active. Her mom appears, asking her daughter why she was being so loud, trying to pivot. Xing says she just wanted to ask for some ribs for lunch. Her mother wonders if that was all, and she confirms, saying they were both hungry. Her mom agrees to cook and asks her daughter to listen to her teacher. Before leaving, now alone, the girl asks if it's not shameless for a teacher to record his own students. He counters that it is far more shameless for a student to threaten a teacher with lies. She is shocked to find he came prepared. Wu Chen explains his simple rule, always be wary of the popular girls that all the boys adore. He warns her not to cause more trouble, or her mother will hear this recording and find out that her sweet daughter loves to frame innocent people. She gets it now. With that recording, this teacher won't back down. Because of this, she now needs a new plan to get that audio file. Her entire attitude shifts as she apologizes, claiming her stomach suddenly feels unwell and she has to go the bathroom. Wu Chen coolly answers. The girl strides to a door and calls out for her sister, Shan, hiding inside the restroom. Xing mutters into her phone, "Someone's picking on me." On the other, and a voice promises to summon 100 guys to help her. She daydreams about a battered Wu Chen, begging her for mercy. Stepping out of the bathroom, the young woman smirks, wondering how long the teacher can keep up his calm act. But suddenly, her mother materializes in the doorway and offers a fake congratulations. She then scolds her for hiding in the washroom, saying that old trick won't fly this time. The girl denies it, insisting she genuinely had to use the facilities, ignoring her. Her mother orders her to make good use of the time and learn from the teacher. Before their meal, in front of the monitor, Xing tells her tutor, "Let's begin." As Wu Chen explains a technique, she simply stares at him, a plastic smile fixed on her face. Half an hour later, her mother announces that dinner is finally served. Over food, the daughter asks to go outside for the afternoon, claiming that the teacher could show her how to draw. In a real-world setting, her mom looks to teacher Wu, who casually agrees with the suggestion, now outside with him. The girl announces, "We're here." Wu Chen suggests they visit a nearby sports arena. But then he realizes this was never a drawing lesson at all when he spots the welcoming committee. One of the thugs smirks, saying he'd been expecting him for quite some time. Xing uses the moment of distraction and quickly hands her bag over to Wu Chen. Then she waves to the crew, greeting her sister Shan. It's Shan and her big brother Qi, the young. Woman wonders why he brought an entire army. Qi just grins. I simply wanted to see the absolute fool who dared to touch you. Immediately, one of the thugs points at Wu Chen, mocking his so-called bravery for having the nerve to mess with Xin. The rest of the goons join in the mockery. Look, he's so scared he can't even move. The leader then signals his men to close in. He turns to Xin, asking what she wants him to do, but in the background, one of the men suddenly recognizes Mr. Wu. He knows he has to warn his boss immediately, and as fast as humanly possible. The leader scoffs that she's being far too kind, and so he tells Wu Chen to get on his knees and apologize before he counts to 3. But Wu Chen simply calls him by his name, Mai. Does your family know how much of a big shot? You are out here annoyed by this clear provocation. Mayochi completely loses it. You bastard, in a rage-fueled tone. He questions his audacity, but the reply he gets is ice cold. Why talk about bullying kids when you could just fight faced? With this, Ma just stares, trying to figure out who this guy is. In the meantime, the other thugs are getting restless. He's good at acting. They wonder when the beatdown will finally start. Muchi states, I have never seen anyone so arrogant right in front of me. He screams for his brothers to attack. But at that exact moment, his phone suddenly starts to ring. He recognizes his father's ringtone and asks for a moment. Wu Chen smirks. You're a lucky one. He suggests he use this precious time to say his last words. The call connects, and his father's voice booms through the phone, immediately asking what kind of trouble he's stirring up now. He asks if anything was done to Mr. Wu, and if he really took a whole gang to the park. But Ma is completely and utterly clueless. In reply, he insists, I haven't even touched him yet. But his father barks. Don't you dare just remember what happened to Guzi. Mayochi confirms. Yes, Mr. Wu is here, and is immediately ordered to pass the Bifitains. Phone. Turning to Wu Chen, he stammers, My father wants to speak with you. The rest of his gang just stares, completely lost by the sudden turn. Wu Chen takes the phone, greeting Chief Mao from the other side of the call. Mayochi's father pleads that it was all a terrible misunderstanding and begs for forgiveness over his son's idiocy. Wu Chen simply replies, It's fine. Chief Mao thanks him profusely, vowing to properly discipline the boy. The call is cut short with the excuse that there is much to attend to. The phone is then handed back to a pale Mochi, who nervously asks if the fight is still on before he quickly apologizes, saying, I had no idea about the connection you two shared. Mochi's men trade baffled looks, trying to process what just happened, or how this kid was suddenly their new uncle. The girls watch from a distance, and one asks, What did Big Brother Chi just call the teacher? Her friend replies, I think he said something like Uncle Wu. Mayochi suddenly whirls on his men. Shut up and apologize to Uncle Wu. He then smacks one of them on the head. Are you stupid? Can't you read the room? One of the thugs immediately bows in a deep apology, and the others scramble to follow their boss's example. And so, the entire crew bows, before Wu Chen pleading for mercy. Completely unimpressed, he simply says, You're acting like cheap thugs. It's about time for you to leave. Mochi turns to his men and yells, Everyone out! With his piece said, Wu prepares to bounce, declaring his grand exit for the day. I'm out. Seeing her chance, Hang tries to flee, as this was not how things were supposed to go. But Ween snags her by the hoodie, stopping her short. And just where are you off to? She spins around, panicked, and blurts out, This is all a big mistake. She begs him to keep her mother out of it, promising she'll be his loyal follower. He just raises an eyebrow, asking, Oh, really? She nods frantically, swearing, You're way cooler than Big Brother Chi. I'll follow your lead. Just then, Win's phone buzzes with a new message. It's an invitation for drinks on the 5th floor of the Golden Regal KTV. He then tells Xin he'll teach her drawing. The next day, asking her to head home. She agrees. Just then, a man approaches and welcomes Mr. Wu inside to join them. After taking a seat, he gets right to it. So, what brings Chief Gu and Mao here? Gor Roibo and Mao Rusong walk in, with Mayochi trailing right behind them. Instantly, Mao Rusong smacks his own son across the face, explaining, I needed to set things right with Wu Chen, so I brought Guibo here as my witness. Wu Chen just waves it off. Chief Mao, don't stress over some kid's squabbles. Thankful for this easy pass, the man expresses his deep gratitude and offers a card for some relaxation time. A bit later, Wu Chen walks into a room, muttering, "Man, I'm getting tired." As he looks up, he spots a woman on the bed.
Wait a second. Isn't that Duang Xiaowei?
The very same woman who was meant to be a gift for Ding Rong. He smirks. Now, this is an interesting little twist. Xiaowei turns, startled, and asks him, "You must be Mr. Wu?" She moves closer and offers to help him with his coat.
Commenting, "You seem exhausted, soon model."
Later, she suggests he might want a bath, pointing to the bathroom. To this, Wu Chan simply agrees. While he is soaking Zhang, Xiaowei enters, asking, "Is the water temperature okay?" He replies, "It's fine." Taking a breath, she offers, "I'll get in and wash your back for you." Unfazed, Wu Chan coolly asks, "You're Shia, right?" The girl is stunned. He knows her name. He continues, "I don't just know your name, I can also read your thoughts about me." This confuses her. He then questions, "Aren't you?" A little bit relieved before he adds, "That's because I'm not the pot-bellied old man you probably imagined." Wu Chen lifts her chin, commenting, "I know, you've never even had a boyfriend. How do you plan to serve me with no experience?" A flashback shows us her parents had a massive debt of 5.7 million, living a hellish life because of their creditors. For that reason, Zhang Xiaowei
Started working 3 jobs every day.
outside of her regular school hours. Even after years of hard work, she found their debt had soared to over 8 million thanks to loan sharks back. Then, a man offered her a dangerous deal to wipe her family's debts if she would just agree to serve a big shot. Returning to the present, she is resolved. She will do her best to complete the mission. As this is clearly a test, Zhang Xiaowei admits to Wu Chen, "Although I have no experience, I definitely did my homework."
But he just reveals it was all a big joke.
Later, in bed, she quietly asks, "Can I turn off the lights?" He replies, "You're in charge. You can do as you please." Lying beside her, he realizes Zhang Xia
Truly had prepared herself. The next?
Morning. She wakes to see he's already dressed and asks, "Are you leaving?" But Wu Chan holds her face gently and asks, "Don't treat me with all this formality. I'm not exactly the affectionate type." He then tells her, "Get some rest. You're clearly exhausted."
I promise I'll return once I handle.
"My business?" Meanwhile, a woman asks, "Professor Wu, why not come over to my place? My daughter Shinshin is waiting for her lesson." While sipping his coffee, Wu Chan considers his options for heading to Donghai. Finally, he drops a bombshell. "Aren't you
Worried a man named Ding Ruang will
find out you snuck out of the city
with your daughter?" Her expression shifts.
It hits her that Wu Chen didn't just find her by chance. He knew about her and Ding Rong. She recalls her search for an online tutor and how he conveniently appeared. Eager for the job, now she understands. He was aware of her ties to Ding Rong. She feels completely cornered, but Wu Chan calmly reassures her. "Look, Ding Rong won't care as long as you don't take Shinshin overseas." She eyes him with suspicion, asking, "Are you just trying to get close to me?" Seeing this, Wu Chen pivots, changing the topic. "All right,
Let's discuss Dong Yuan Tao, the mirrored Chul.
mention of that name makes her tense.
Up instantly. He then suggests, let's
Take this conversation somewhere else." As they head towards a hotel, she wonders why on earth he'd take her there. "To talk about this at the front desk?" The attendant asks, "Do you have a reservation?" Wu Chen replies, "No. I'll take an executive suite. After the staff confirms one is free." He says, "They only need one room." She then asks for their identification cards and tells them the suite is on the 16th floor, once inside the elevator. The woman questions him, "Why this place?" Wu Chen simply replies, "Because it's safe and it's completely private." Annoyed, she fires back, questioning, "Can't men just act like normal people?" He gestures for silence, stating firmly, "We will talk properly once we are in the room." Inside, Wu Chen simply invites her to sit, asking why she's still standing there. He then takes a seat on the bed, wondering why she is still.
Crying, she immediately accuses him.
"You're not the gentleman I thought you were. And deep down, you're just like all the others." Wu Chen sighs. "This is a major misunderstanding. You don't need to apologize." But she provokes him further. "Then do what you want." Lifting her dress, she challenges, "Finish it and then never bother me again." Shocked, he reprimands her, saying,
You have no idea who I am or why I...
"Even contacted you? What would Jinshin think?" Seeing you like this, she confronted him back. "Then why did you hug me, dare to claim that wasn't on purpose?" Wu Chen calmly admitted, "It was on purpose." She retorted, "Then finish your business and go." He finally revealed all of this was a deliberate act because of Ding Rong. With his hands up, he tried to calm her. "Ding Rong isn't here Please get dressed so we can speak. Finally composed, she asked.
What did you want to prove, Wu-Chen?
Explained the plan. The hallways. Security camera caught an image of me. Hugging you right as we entered, he tried. Again. Please sit so we can talk. The woman finally settled on the bed's edge. Wu-Chen continued. Ding Rulong is tracking your every step, and he will see the footage of us entering this hotel together. Think about what that will provoke. Hearing the full explanation, she looked visibly shaken. She then had to ask, do you have a grudge? Against Ding Rong, I think you're taking this a bit too far. With a faint smirk, Wu Chen simply asked, do you know? Li Rowing, the woman flatly confirmed. Yes, he declared. Li Rowing is my woman, Wu, Chen continued. In the end, one of us is going to die. It's not just me, either. My entire family will be dragged into this, he proposed. If you testify to the Dong clan that Ding Rong eliminated Dong Yuan, Tao, our families will ignite a war, he added. I've already made a deal with the Li family to sever their ties with the Ding family. I just need you to go to Donghai with Shinshin, Wu Chen, then offered his hand. A life of freedom awaits you, Miss Hishiching, with a new fire in her eyes. She took it and stated, I want Ding Rong to die as quickly as possible. But then she moved closer, suggesting, instead of faking it, let's give Ding Rong a real reason. She stole a kiss, inviting him.
Let's make this real. Wu Chen, however, stopped her short. We don't need
to go that far. What will Shinshin do? If she discovers I killed her very own father, he immediately agreed with himself. Shinshin can never know a single thing, Wu Chen insisted. That girl must be kept out of this whole mess. I
propose sending you both abroad right after the testimony. I'll continue to teach.
Her there. But He Shiching cut him off. I accept, but I have one request. As her hand drifted to her dress strap, she whispered, I want to truly betray Ding Ruong. Not just pretend. He stopped. That would just complicate things. You need to keep a clear head if you want to work with me. 2 hours later, Chen grabbed his jacket, stating that they had spent quite enough time there. It was definitely time to go. Outside, he told.
Her to pack everything for herself and Shinshin.
Belongings back to Donghai tomorrow. And she agrees elsewhere. Chief Mao appears, offering a small favor that requires a signature saying he heard Wuan was preparing to leave. Wuan questions giving up 45% of a company worth 200 million chens for a single yuan. The man replies, it's simply a gesture of friendship. Wuan notes they are already friends, but turns down the offer because it
would be a problem to hold shares.
While he's investigating Ding Rong, hearing this, Chief Mao suggests he just appoint a proxy to sign for him. After a moment, Wu Chen sighs. Fine, if you insist, I will call someone. A stunned Zhang Xiaoi asks if he actually wants her to sign the document.
Was this incredible fortune for her?
Sitting between them, her mind spun. Why would she get shares worth 100 million? The chief quickly clarifies. The deal was for Mr. Wu, of course, but she will sign as his official agent, so there will be zero complications. He then urges her to just sign, promising the contract is perfectly safe. As Duang Xiaoi signs the documents, Chief Mao watches her every move.
She then approaches Wu Chen, promising
to give it her all, but he just asks, here to go do some shopping, adding that he will give her a call later. A man invites Mr. Wu into the car. Inside the vehicle, Wu Chen asks his uncle
what brought him all the way to Magic City.
The older man informs him Ding Rong is already en route to Donghai. He then asks Wuan what he plans to do. When calmly asks what his uncle thinks he should do about the situation, he knows about the recent attack, and that Bing Bing was nearly injured. But Ding Rulong must not die in Donghai. He assures him his uncle's wish would be respected, but he couldn't vouch for Ding Rulong's safety. Should he dare step foot there? The elder agrees, placing everything on his shoulders. So long as the boy avoids a tombstone in the city, Win takes his leave, mentioning he had other business to settle, and that they would meet again soon. As he walks, with Zhang Xiaoi, his phone starts buzzing. He answers, greeting a Miss Li, but on the other end, the woman's voice demands to know his return date. Just as Zhang Xiaoyer nervously tugs his sleeve, Wu Yin says he'll be back. The next day, expecting to land, around noon. Then he casually adds, he's bringing 3 people along. She immediately asks who, but he just replies she'll find out soon enough. Li Robing presses, are they women? After he confirms, she asks again. Anyone else? He gives a simple no. Her face fills with utter shock. She can't believe that all 3 of them are women still on the line. Li Robing completely loses it, grilling him about bringing home 3 women after just 3 days. Wen finds her reaction baffling. She tells him to stop being so careless.
Worried about her own reputation, Wen
smoothly says she can do whatever,
She wants with him when he gets back.
and teases her about being jealous. Hearing this, Leroy Bing's tone flips. She agrees, but reminds him he was the one who said it. Beside him, Xiaoyi asks if that was his wife on the phone. He corrects her, clarifying that she is his girlfriend. She notes the woman sounded pretty furious, and Wu Chen asks if she's scared. He pulls her close, assuring her that as long as he's around, his girlfriend was not playing games. Sitting there with her arms crossed, Leroy demanded Wu Yin introduce her to all the guests. And so Wu Yin introduces his girlfriend, Leroy, to the room. Immediately after, he presents Dang Xiaoyi. Then he introduces little Hixing Xin and her mother. Hai Shuaqing, this newcomer, is instantly recognized as the only witness to Dong Yuntao's murder. In that instant, Leroy knew Hai Shuing was here to flip on Ding Rong and testify. Against him, she coolly greeted Hai Shuqiqing, welcoming her to Dong Hai, even complimenting her on her beauty. Finally, Leroy looks at Wu Chen, remarking that he is always full of surprises. She then pivots to Duang Xiaoyi, confirming if that was her name. After Duang Xiaoyi nervously confirmed, Leroy continued her little interrogation. The host then asked the young woman for her age. She replied carefully that she was 21 years old. Leroy moved closer, calling her little sister, and noted that her obvious nervousness was way better than people who simply don't understand the rules. Sensing the dangerously cold atmosphere, Wu Chen finally stepped in. He claimed to be tired from the trip and sent Xinshin off to play. Now alone with Hai Xing, Leroy bluntly asked if she had slept with Wu. Chen, seeing everyone's reaction, she knew the answer was obviously affirmative. Hai quickly apologized, explaining she had made the first move as a way to get back at Ding He. Ruang. She also mentioned she was on medication and had zero intention of creating problems for the couple. Leroy just smiled, telling her that she didn't blame her, since she doubts there's a woman on Earth. Wu Chen wouldn't sleep. With that being said, it was time to set some ground rules with the women involved with him. With her arms folded, she declares that Mrs. He and her daughter will dine with them, but separately. She and Zhang Xiaowei are eating out. Wu Chen just nods. I'll do whatever you say, he agrees. But as they leave, a crowd suddenly swarms them, all greeting Mr. Wu. He murmurs to Li Robing, "This is what I was talking about," but she just scoffs. She is in no mood for this drama. Two women then approach, greeting the couple with fake smiles. One slides up to Wu Chen, calling him a bad boy before kissing his cheek. "Did you miss me?" Li Robing's glare could freeze fire. Chen Jian looks completely shocked. Li Robing crosses her arms, asking what exactly this woman expects. Wayne just leans in and whispers, "Just look the other way." So she does, calmly wiping the lipstick stain from his face. Zhang Xiaowei watches it all unfold, her brain struggling to process this chaotic new world. Wen turns to Qian. "Why are you there?" The young woman just shrugs. "There's nothing wrong," she says. But she's done pretending, feeling insulted. Another woman appears, calling for Wu Chen. "Husband, I learned to make new dishes just for you." Chen Jin tenses up, sensing that Qing Ying is about to start a war. Leroy sees Qing Ying's simple yet clever tactic to control the mood. Meanwhile, Zhuang Xiaowei feels out of place, wondering if she can survive. By Mr. Wu's side in this jungle, Wu Chen just says, "Let's order our food first." Then he asks Qing Ying, "Any issues with your company's board?" She casually replies that with his help. "Troubles. No one would dare make a peep." She laments that if not for her schedule, she would cling to his side every single day. Just then, another woman, Wu Yurong, turns to him, asking why he kept Qing Ying in the dark about their little arrangement. Leroy calmly sips her wine, explaining she gathered this little flock so everyone could get acquainted, a way to prevent messy squabbles later on. At that moment, she knew it was over. Her chance to use Qingyi against Wu Yong had completely vanished. Wu Yuruang scoffs, asking if all this fuss was just for everyone to bow to her as the one true girlfriend. Li Robing coolly replies that this burden belongs to all of them. Another woman gasps, not expecting the legendary and career-driven Mrs. Wu to be part of this circus. Wu Yuru retorts she couldn't resist, as Mr. Wu is simply exceptional. She then adds that Qingyan, a mere student, was the real shocker. Chang'an declares she met him before Qing Ying. Hearing this, Li Robing announces, since Chenjian arrived first, from now on, you will all call her Sister Zhou. Su Jing pipes up, suggesting now that the head sister has been decided. They should sort out the other ranks too. Chengkin smugly states she doesn't care, as long as she isn't ranked last. After all, she was the first to meet Wu Chen. She then leans on Li Robing playfully, asking her to handle the tedious details. "Please take care of things for me." The others concede, calling her Sister Zhou. Wu Yuruong immediately approaches Wu Chen, asking where his bed will be for the night.
Duang Xiaowei watches the drama unfold.
Realizing the battle for his affection had already begun, mere seconds after the truce. Been decided, but Lying jumped in, arguing that Wu Chen just got back from Magic City, letting him skip a trip.
Home would be just plain cruel.
Hearing this, he relented, announcing that everyone would head out, Su Ying. And Qian also declared they wanted to visit his house. Wu Chen muttered that
Things were spiraling out of control.
he figured it was best to go, since Shai had just shown up and there were still issues to sort out between him and Ru Bing. Wu Yuru Rang said her goodbyes, telling him not to overdo it that evening at home. Wan explained that Shuing and Xinxin were already fast asleep. They would get a rental house tomorrow, and Duang Xiaowei would just crash
With them for the night. In her room, Duang?
Xiaowei couldn't help but hear the noises
Coming from upstairs, lying next to her.
sleeping daughter. He Shuqing also overheard everything. Meanwhile, a young woman was on a call when she was approached by someone introducing herself as Anglin. Song Schwanner was stunned, realizing she was facing the famous and Manglan. The name clicked, and she asked if the celebrity was truly looking for her. And Manglin replied, "Your music is absolutely brilliant," she offered a meeting at her company for a chat, assuming she was a free agent. Then she asked if Schwanner could make an introduction to a Mr. Wu Chen. She was eager to meet him too, the girl promised to connect them after checking with Professor Wu Chen, then screamed
That something huge just happened. Song.
Schwanner told her mom she was heading out, and the woman asked Wu Chen,
What was wrong with his composer, Wang?
tagged along, curious to see what all the fuss was about at her place. Song. Schwanner introduced the senior Wu Chen she mentioned before. Turns out he also attended Dong High University. Apparently, her mom just had to meet him after his music blew up. The woman introduced herself with a flourish as Wu Yu Rang. Wu Chen politely returned the greeting.
When he revealed he was 22, she noted.
The age gap with her daughter, then grilled him about his Dong Hai roots. He admitted he was from a small town.
Wu Rang then asked what he did for fun.
But Swanner jumped in, cutting her off. "Mom, what's with the interrogation?" Just then, the girl offered a contract. Wu Chen's songs, she explained, were a massive hit. She urged him to review the papers while she quickly used the restroom. Alone, Wu Yurang asked if he preferred Xiaowu, or maybe husband Wu Chen just deadpanned. "I'll read the contract," she stood, declaring she wouldn't tolerate him being distant tonight, not after he spent yesterday with Li Ruing. Wu Chen warned her to sit down carefully, but a swift reply echoed back. "Jean Xuan is going to be a while." At that exact moment, Xuan returned to see her mother hugging the senior. Wang Yepirang spun around, trying to explain, but her daughter fled, yelling, "I don't want to hear it," watching her go. Wu Chen knew he had to fix this, somehow reset the situation for them. He promised Wu Yu Rang a proper conversation would happen later on. He silently cursed his rotten luck. Of all the days for a disaster like this to strike, a couple of hours later, sitting inside his car, he realized that besides the mess with Sister Ruan and Xuan, other problems had also popped up. The scene flashed back to when Wu Yurang sat on his... She asked what his title should be now. Then she shot up, accusing him of being icy.
All because he'd spent the day before with someone named Li Rubin. Wu Chen
just gave her a chilling warning. "Sit, you have 3 seconds, or else..." Baffled, she walked right toward him.
What's wrong? She asked. He just glared, putting up a hand in a silent command for her to freeze. Just then, Swan
declared she had a vital message. A message for the senior, of course. The bathroom could wait. Wu Yurong instantly dropped back into her seat, barely avoiding getting busted. How on earth did Wu Chen know? She had no clue. The daughter then told the senior that N. Manglin wanted to recruit her for a new project, and was eyeing him as well. The moment he heard Manglin's name, alarms went off. He recalled a disastrous past life involving her. Swan then asked if she could pass his number along, suggesting they team up and sign a joint contract with the company. But her mom, Wu Yurong, was having none of it. She cut in, questioning this hasty move, signing without even a family meeting. Unthinkable seeing the tension, Sewon immediately went in for a hug, begging her mom to let her do this. She promised to be serious about music and swore her grades wouldn't slip. After a tense moment, her mother caved, but there was one condition. She'd be involved every single step, to oversee everything. Delighted, the daughter cheered with pure joy.
With a grin, she declared that now
the final decision rested with the senior. Wu Chen calmly replied from his seat. Out of respect for Madame Wu, he said, he would permit her daughter to get his number. But as for joining, he had no intention. Debut. Then, a woman gets up to call on Minglin, asking everyone to settle down. For a moment, Wu Yurong casually remarks that Xuanuan might suddenly
appear, and Wu Chen gives her a sharp look,
saying, "It's better if she doesn't land on my lap." Stunned, she asks how he knew that, calling him a psychic. He just smiles, returning the
question, wanting to know what she really wanted to hear changing.
Her mind, Wu Yurong says it's nothing, asking him to forget she said it shortly. After, Wu Chen rises to leave and tells her to have Miss Song send a message if she wants to book
a performance. She watches his back,
thinking to herself that this man of mysterious power is truly formidable. Later, at Old Dao's lodge in the Sitch district, a man calls out for Mr. Wu after asking where his target is. Wien hears from the host that she is waiting inside and is invited to go in with him. The moment he enters, he informs Jiang Chuan that now he is here, he will neither escape nor die without his express permission, so abandon all useless thoughts in that instant. He recalls that before his rebirth, he only planned on a simple test, but he ended up finding Jiang Chuan instead. It was a true blessing in disguise. Trapped, Jiang Chuan is shocked Wu Chen knew how to avoid creating problems for the young master, finding him even more bizarre than he'd imagined. Without pause, Wu Chen states that Jiang Chuan, Ding Ruang, and Li Royin all want his death. So his only real choice now is to cooperate. The captured man asks how he can be so sure that by giving the information, Wu Chen can even face the young master and the Ding family. In response, he simply mentions the making life impossible for Jiang Guan's family. They would never find peace in the States. He threatened a convenient accident, or delivering them straight to Ding Rulong. A cold realization hit Jiang Guan then. No one from the Ding family knew his relative's address. It had to be him. If he didn't betray the young master, they would surely perish by Wu Chen's hand. Leaning in, Wu Chen repeated his offer. The best choice was to join him. Between him and Ding Long, one of them was destined to fall tonight. Jiang Chuan stared back, sweating, looking utterly drained of all hope. Wu Chen saw the surrender in his eyes. He then ordered his men to untie him. "Take good care of our new friend," he said. He would be staying for a while. His men quickly agreed, assuring Mr. Wu there was absolutely no need to worry. Checking his phone, Wu Chen saw it was 4:15, right on schedule. The pair he was waiting for should be heading to the cafe now. On Jingyang Street, 20 minutes later, he waited patiently at a corner table. A couple walked in right on time. He watched them, a smirk playing on his lips. Well now, he thought, not bad at all. On the screen, a man asked if she'd go home. She sighed, saying she had to leave. Old Wu would definitely get suspicious if she completely vanished for the night. He asked carefully if her husband suspected. She confidently said no, not a thing. He'd only asked a simple question. About his own wife, that was all. The man then confessed he'd hit his wife. During their last argument, shocked, the woman asked if she suspected them. Before she could finish, he cut her off. He offered her a banana with a grin, suggesting they should check into a hotel. In the video, she scoffed, asking for decency. He just laughed. "Isn't this what you like?" It's a bluntness she truly appreciates. Wu Chen, who was tasked with recording the meeting, remarks, "It's time to see Brother Lei, a moment." Later, he calls ex Yao Di, letting her know that since rowing is at work, he'll swing by to get her for their trip to Shihun Mansion. When they get there, a woman invites Mr. Wu to have a seat, explaining the godfather is on a call, but will be with them soon. Duang Xiaowei, who came with Wu Chen instantly, recognizes their host as the star Tao Many, realizing his friend's circle is full of seriously wealthy and powerful people. Taoying then serves Mr. Wu some tea. In his office, Lechong hangs up and declares he is done discussing that topic. He turns, greeting Wu Chen and asking about the lovely young lady with him. Wu Chen coolly introduces her as his woman, Zhang Xiaoyi. Li Cheng suggests Menning chat with the younger sister, while he and Wu Chen talk in the office, noting he was suspended from the inner circle once. They're alone. Wu Yin reveals that Ding Rong plans to exploit the might of the Hongfa group, which is owned by the Lilei family, and will try to get close. He then adds that he has a video from that very afternoon, which could help Brother Lei fix this entire mess. Intrigued, Lechong asks what this video could possibly be. Without missing a beat, Wien tells him to see for himself. After seeing the footage, Lechen exclaims, "This is a lifesaver." Leixing identifies the man as his own deputy general, manager, who stepped in after his own suspension. He then points out the woman as Huin's wife and adds that Hu Celine is a very long-time supplier for the Hongfa group, and also the chairman of Jirui Electronics from Donghai. And he then claims that he was a so-called friend of Liu. He says it was who called him just as he walked in, trying to pressure him into breaking the contract with many. He even mentions that Ding Rong said he would come to Donghai for a talk. And don't worry, any losses from the
Contract breach would be happily paid for.
By the mighty Ding family, Woon just scoffs. That Ding Ralong just won't give up on his mission to ruin Hankai Cosmetics. But at the same time, he has to praise Brother Lilei's masterclass strategy of alternating pressure with sweet deals. And indignant Lechong refuses to even acknowledge it, stating that no one
will destroy the promise he made to many.
Finally, he declares that they're all trying to play him for a complete fool, but he makes it very clear that he won't allow it. Meanwhile, Tao Many asks Duangsha why she seems so hesitant to leave. And how long has she known Mr. Wu? Duang nervously replies, barely a few days. Tao advises her to watch her step. Mr. Wu's girlfriend, Li Robing, is not exactly the easygoing type, but the young woman assures her she's amazing and has been very kind. Tao Many comments that Miss Jiang reminds her of her own past self back when she first started following her godfather, so she advises her to be more assertive. She scoffs that to win a man's heart. You can't just follow internet tips. There are countless hidden rules. You need to understand. She comforts her, saying, I can't let you struggle like this. Don't worry, I'll teach you properly later. Then, she turns toward the stairs, informing her godfather that someone has arrived. At the door, Lechun already knows it's him. He explains that the old man didn't have to see him earlier, while Wu Chen coolly comments on his temperament. Lechun then asks if he'll use that video. Wu Chen's reply is simple, I will. Hearing this, Lechun questions the move. Wouldn't showing it directly be too bold? But Wu Chen scoffs, revealing Hu Shalin is far from an innocent man himself. In fact, he continues, the man has more than a single mistress. And the kicker? A tidy prenuptial agreement ensures the unfaithful spouse is the one who leaves the divorce with absolutely zero.
Lechun's eyes widen. Their company
is worth over 3 billion, which means the video of his wife's affair is worth a staggering 1.5 billion. He suggests they offer the video as a gift. Wu Chen corrects him with a smirk. No, Brother Lei is the one giving the gift, and he can ask for a tiny favor in return. He proposes that Lechun let Hu Shalin learn of his other affair with Liu, ensuring Hu will be the very first person to rally to their side. Lechun realizes this is no small favor at all. This is a power play, forcing old Hu to join their camp, Wu Chen explains. This move corners Hu into dealing with Zhu Hao. Plus, his own infidelity makes his divorce outcome completely unpredictable. Finally, Lechun asks if this isn't just a fancy way to threaten the old man.
Wu Chen denies it. This isn't a threat.
He calls it the art of communication. Confident in this masterful plan, Li Chun leaves the details in his hands and requests old Hu to be shown in. At the door, Hu Shilin suggests waiting downstairs since Brother Lei has guests, but he's quickly invited to enter, as he is hardly considered a stranger. Lechun turns to introduce Brother Wu to their unsuspecting visitor. Wu Chen greets Chief Hu, who replies warmly, walking right into the trap, and invited him to sit. Hu Celine then voiced his worries about Lech's shocking move against his own sibling, but was quickly told this matter didn't involve him. Utterly baffled, the guest demanded to know the meaning behind this, stating, it's unwise to meddle in the affairs of powerful families. But Lecheng shot
back, revealing Ming's contract breach.
With Huan Kai Cosmetics would be her ultimate undoing, Huselian suggested. Miss Tao could just fake an injury, but Lei Chung coolly denied being friends with Li robbing. Now intrigued, the man questioned his involvement with Huang Kai Cosmetics. The answer he received, it was all for his brother. In that very instant, a bombshell dropped Li robbing is none other than Wu Chen's girlfriend. Stunned, Huil spun around, asking, you're actually Wu Chen. He finally understood the entire scheme to trick. Li Rowing was completely blown open. He shot up from his seat, accusing old Lei of fooling him on purpose. Lei Cheng smirked, thinking it was time to dial up the drama a little more, setting the stage for Brother Wu's grand entrance. Hu Shailin faced Wu Chen directly, now admitting, you must have heard me ask old Lei to deceive Miss Li. Wu-en simply nodded, saying he understood Chief Hu's kind motives, but then revealed the one who orchestrated the car crash 10 years. Ego was actually Liu. He then invited him to view a video from that afternoon. He laid it all out. Zhu Hao is Liu's loyal man, meaning it was just a matter of time before he would manipulate Hu's wife into seizing all his assets. Li Chung chimed in, agreeing with brother Wu, telling Hu not to fight his wife, but to instead ship his mistresses off abroad for a while. Hearing this, Huslin froze, wondering how old Lei finally discovered the other woman. Just as the news began to leak, Wu Chen continued his thought. Now, all that's left is to prove that Liu is the mastermind. Because after that, Zhu Hao's turn comes,